What's that? Oh, God, that reminds me. I didn't get water. Hang on. Let me go get water. I'll be right back.
Can you guess, Chinny, what my American-themed drink is? What do you reckon?
Cognac?
No. Oh, I don't drink alcohol anymore, so it's definitely not that.
Mountain Dew?
No.
Don't know.
It's pretty American. I mean, we have it in this country. People compare the taste to Germaline.
Oh, okay. What's it called?
Do you not know?
No.
You're joking. I can't believe you don't know what American drink tastes like Germaline.
No.
All right, we'll wait till Duke comes back. So let's see if he knows. Let's see
I don't
if he
think
knows.
this is as common knowledge as you might think.
I think it is. I think it is.
I think you're wrong.
I bet Duke gets it almost instantly. So, Duke, let's settle this debate. What American-themed drink
Apple juice
is this? American. Think of American drinks that we
Apple
don't
juice,
have
tea?
much in the UK. No, we have all those in the UK. Come on.
beer.
What sort of beer? Because I don't drink beer, do I?
Beer.
So it's not
Alcoholic
beer.
beer?
It's not alcoholic
Light beer.
No.
Cider beer.
I don't
Stout
even know.
beer. Ale.
Say the
No.
thing you said to me.
Lagers.
Say the thing you said to me.
It tastes,
Root
although
beer?
you might, I don't know. Yes, root beer. It's root
How
beer.
the fuck would I know that?
Sake
Well,
beer.
No, it's root
Wine beer.
Shut up, you said root beer.
Ginger
It's
beer?
Oh my God.
No, but you said...
You wanted me to guess?
No, but it said it
You said it.
tasted like something.
It tastes like Germaline.
Do you know
Which
that?
is-
Joe?
Germaline. What the fuck is Germaline?
Thank you.
Germaline.
No,
Germaline
nobody's
is
ever
like
heard. You're making up stuff.
You're making
It's
up stuff
not.
again,
It's like
Duke.
an
Stu, you are.
antiseptic ointment.
No, you're making.
Well, I've never
things up.
drank antiseptic ointment, so I
No,
wouldn't
that's
know what it
it.
tastes
That's
like.
what root beer tastes like, though. That's what it tastes
How
like.
do you know what antiseptic ointment tastes like?
Because it smells like this tastes.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
He said it to me like, you know, come on, what beer?
You know, like
What's drink?
Germaline.
I was like, what are you
No, I
talking
said,
about?
what drink? It's a very American drink,
I
root
don't-
beer. Correct me
It's
if I'm
delicious.
wrong.
Anything about it?
It's fantastic. You have ginger beer over there, right?
Yeah, we do. It doesn't taste like
All
ginger
right.
beer.
No, but I'm saying like there's variants on the soda beer process.
It tastes like Germaline, for fuck's sake.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Are we ready to start?
Are we ready?
Yes.
Are we on? Are we on?
Let's start the motherfucking show, bitch.
There it comes, people. I'm supposed to be grading papers right now.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Ginny, and the fellas will tell you about every single game that they play this week. News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with the soundbite saviors.
No,
It's
no
the
sound
veteran
bites.
gamers.
There's none.
It's the veteran gamers.
No sound bites at all.
It's the veteran gamers. It's the veteran gamers.
Oh, thank God you've answered.
Yeah, boy. Switch that console off before you have to press repeat, yo.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun on the bun.
Hello and weapon. Well, I need to say Wepicum then for some reason.
All right, let's start over again, people.
Start
Here we
over.
go.
Welcome yo
No,
to the
seriously,
veteran
no.
gamers.
Hello and welcome to episode. Oh my God, this is the
Waggy
worst
pum.
start.
That's what you said. Waggy
Yeah,
pum.
Worst
You
start to
spoke
a
wrong.
show ever. Anyway, I'll try again. Hello and welcome to episode 767 of the Veteran Gamers Podcast.
Got it right. I'm Duke.
I'm Stu, and wow,
Hello.
that was an intro.
Well, now I'm Chinny.
Yeah. And we are not military veterans, people. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle. We're just three guys who like to come together once a week and talk shite.
Just three
Oh,
blokes.
shite.
Just
Shite.
three
Yeah. We talk about our health. We talk about stories. Have I got a story for you? Oh my God.
Oh, I always like
Where
a
are you
story.
going?
Wait, whoops, that's the wrong
My
thing.
favorite
There it is.
time. It's
There it is.
story time.
Story time.
So last week, I told you I had that cassette tape that I needed to digitize because a friend, a child of my friend who passed away, was like, "I need to hear the song," and now we've got the song. Oh my God, what a song it is!
So how did you do this, by the way? Did you buy something to do this with?
I did
or-
not buy something. I had I put the word out at school and I said, "Hey, where is so I put the thing out of school. I said, I need a tape deck. Somebody have a tape deck out there?" And this lady was like, "Yes, I do have a tape deck." And I was like, "Yes." So I borrowed her boombox and I put the mic next to it and I just hit play.
Wow, so you did the
I know,
that's,
right? It's
that's
old
the
school.
That is like we used to do that back in the day.
Yeah,
We used to have what was called the Top of the Pops, of course. Top of the Pops, remember
of
this?
course.
In the UK?
Yeah.
And you used to get your tape recorder and put the mic next to the telly speaker
Sure.
and record Top of the Pops so you could listen
Hell
to it
yeah.
later. Terrible. It sounded
No
awful.
doubt.
Sounded awful.
Anyway, so this does not sound awful. This sounds awesome.
Umberto, the lizard god of cheese sandwiches.
So I will play that song at the end of the podcast for anybody
Wow,
who wants
can't
to hear
wait.
it.
Can't wait.
I know you don't necessarily need to hear it, but I'm going to put it on for the listeners. And I told you the story about how I came up with those sounds, right?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
I used to catfish weirdos on American
Oh,
Idol,
right.
yeah.
get them to call my answering machine and stuff. So I got to hear this song that I hadn't really heard for many, many years, and it made me very happy to hear it again. And yeah, and now my Chrome browser's frozen. It looks like. Oh no, there it goes.
That's cool. I'll look forward to
Yeah.
hearing this. By the way, whoever's in the chat, we need an argument settled here. Because I'm drinking what's known as root
don't need
beer.
an argument
Root
settled.
beer, right? And I told Chinny it tasted like Germaline and he doesn't even know what that is. So, does anyone in the chat know what I'm talking about? Because it tastes like Germaline. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Does anyone in the chat know what I'm talking about? Is a way of settling an argument exactly. First of all, there's no argument. Stu said something weird, and we're like, okay,
It's not
It's not exactly
weird.
an argument.
It's not weird. Well, you two are saying it's
It is
weird. I'm
weird.
saying it's not weird. So that's the argument.
What I'm saying is, you think that is a common thing that everybody knows.
It's of my age group.
And-
I'm
and
telling you now, it is.
I've never heard of Germaline. I don't care about root beer. I didn't know it was an American drink.
Oh my god.
Like,
It's a tasty beverage. Why don't we just leave it at that?
you're not barking up the wrong tree. You're in the wrong forest, you.
But that's what the argument is. It's like I think it's fairly common knowledge, and you're saying it isn't. So let's let the listeners sort this shit
The more
out.
important question is, why did you decide to buy root beer? Like, what brand is it?
Oh well, it's actually root beer cordial. It's like
What?
root beer cordial. So it's root beer cordial, and then I mix it with tonic, so it's
Oh
fairly
my
healthy.
goodness,
so
this is like a very elaborate process of. We just go to the store and buy root beer. You're getting.
yeah, but
all
that's
sorts
full
of
of
fancy-
sugar and shit. This
Of course,
is
it's
less
full of sugar and shit.
Well, this
That's
is
why it
less
tastes so
sugar.
good.
James
Well,
Bevan in the
Everything
chat.
tastes good, has
Ja-
sugar in it.
James Bevan in the chat says, "Hold up, let me get the medicine. Let's go to the medicine cabinet."
Well, James, do you know what germaline is? That's the question. Do you know what germaline is?
Maybe it's
Yeah,
Germaline.
inquiring minds want to know if you know about this thing that Stu
What did
knows
you-
about, so that he
Oh,
doesn't
right.
feel so weird.
The only reason I know it, right? My mum used to always have a tin of germaline in the medicine box or whatever. And no matter what you did, you used to put germaline, burn yourself germaline, cut yourself germaline, get a
Well, that sounds
graze.
like Chris Rock's bit about
Germaline.
Robitussin.
Robitussin.
It's like, what,
Robitussin.
it was like the fix
Daddy,
of
I got
book,
cancer. Robitussin.
Robitussin.
But this was the
See, I know
weird thing,
that.
right?
Yeah, everyone knows that.
This was the weird thing. Whenever she put germaline on shit, it used to get infected afterwards. So it was
Yeah.
like, is that actually working?
Well, it sounds like
No.
it doesn't work if it's getting
No.
infected. Ugh.
So yeah, so I don't know whether it was but it's a thing. All I can say it's a thing. Germaline.
Okay, it's a thing. Great.
Tastes like root beer.
All right, moving
smells or
on.
whatever. I
Um,
don't know.
Right. He said it's root beer flavored medicine, obviously.
It is obviously.
That's probably what they did back in the day. They wanted to get kids to take their medicine, and so they'd make it taste like root beer.
I don't know because you don't actually eat germaline. It's not some.
Oh,
My
well,
mum may have
I don't
tried it. You know what I mean? Because she tried it for.
Maybe you're
everything
supposed to
else.
mix it with a cordial and tonic.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
It'd be G&T,
yeah,
it'd be
and then I had
G&T.
this
It would be a
PG
G&T.
tips, what?
It would be a G&T.
a
Germ-
G and T.
Germ-
What is that?
Germaline and tonic.
Germaline
G-
and tonic. Yeah, there you go.
G&T. It's
Or a
usually-
GLT, a Germaline, lettuce, and tomato.
It's usually gin and tonic. G&T. yeah,
Right.
it's the thing.
I've never heard it referred to as
See,
a
I've,
GNT.
look, here we go. Here we go. I've actually
we
Googled
go.
this. I've Googled
Oh, great.
God.
Listen. First question
Listen.
people ask is, why does root beer smell like Germaline? That is
Aw,
a
dude.
first question.
Yeah, but it's the first question that comes up for you, Stu, because it hears you talking about Germaline. You've probably done searches for Germaline.
No,
So
no.
Google gets to know
You're
what you
always
were
looking
interested
No,
in.
just
Germaline.
hold
He's
your
in the
horses.
north.
Hold your
Preston.
horses.
Okay, here we go. He's gonna
Hold
give
your
him a
ho- There's an
Germaline.
actual scientific reason why this is the case, right?
They
Because
both have the same ingredient. Is that the scientific reason?
methyl salicylate
Yes.
or wintergreen oil is used in Germaline, Listerine, and root beer. So it's the same.
So we've
ingredient.
found that we've cracked the code. The puzzle has been solved.
Wow.
They all
Oh,
have the
there you
same.
go.
I think-
You know,
I
it's like spearmint gum and spearmint. They smell so similar.
I think the real lesson here for me is just to say yes.
Just
See,
go along with it.
Look,
say
look,
yeah.
I was right.
ask questions?
Can I just
You
say
were
I was
right. Yeah,
right?
okay,
I was
you were
what
right.
we'll
Stu.
do, we're
Congratulations.
Stu, from now on, we're going to be just yes men. Do you know what I mean? We're just going to be like.
Yeah, but I
you
was
know-
right.
you know,
Is
You
it-
were
is
right.
it wrong to
Yes.
be
Yeah,
right?
of course you
What's
were,
the
yeah.
problem?
Yes, you
Well,
were
you
right.
know-
No, you were right.
You know when everybody was exploiting Elvis and he just surrounded himself with it? Yes, man.
Yes.
That's us now.
How did Kanye get to where he is? Yes,
Yeah.
Kanye.
You're not being a yes
Absolutely.
man if I'm right.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
of
We're
course
not.
you are. Yeah, I know you're right. Yeah.
Jesus.
You are right, and that's cool. I mean, look, you're right. It does. So but the Chinny's thing was never. I don't think it tastes like Germaline or smells like Germaline. He just didn't know what it was, and he was responding to your assumption that everybody knew Germaline,
Correct.
which we still haven't had anyone in the chat say that they know. But that's
Germaline?
okay because there's only 3 people in the chat. One of them
there's
is
not
me.
enough people. Not enough people.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it.
We're gonna get all
covers
kinds of
more-
speak pipes next week, though, going, "Oh, Germaline is my
more
favorite."
like- yeah, if you look,
I have a
if
glass
you,
of that every day.
if you listen to this show,
Anally.
right? If you listen to this show, and you know
Why
what
would you listen
Germaline,
anally?
if you know what Germaline is, right? Send us an email. It can just literally be, "Yes, I do know
Yeah.
what Germaline is."
Because,
Yeah,
but
You got to
that's
put the
it.
last part of that sentence. Don't
Yeah,
just
but-
say yes, I do.
next week we'll forget what we talked about.
I know.
I never
know.
forget what we talk about. What are you talking about?
Yeah, send us a speak pipe. Send us an email saying, "I know
Yes.
what Germaline
Yeah.
is."
Please do that.
Definitely
yeah,
do
great
it.
idea,
Where-
Stu. Yeah, great
I know.
idea.
Where would they send it, Chitty? You
Yeah,
can
This
send it.
conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
VGPodcastUK@gmail.com. What a great idea you got there, Stu.
There you
Great
go. You
stuff.
see. There you go. Well, look,
Great.
look, prove me right for once against these two
No,
idiots.
great stuff.
Say.
What a great.
Anybody
what a
got any
great-
other
Dang.
stories?
Yes.
Go ahead, Chinny. Tell us your story.
I put it in all caps. Mine's way more interesting than yours.
Come on, let's hear it.
I'm sure it is, Chinny. Yes,
you're-
tell us your story. Yes,
you're
we
just
want to hear it.
cool.
Yes.
This
Clutching-
Germaline's good.
Okay, I need your attention there because what
Yes,
I'm about
you have my attention.
Stu, what I'm
Blow
about
my-
to
are you
tell
gonna blow
you,
my mind? Are you gonna blow my mind?
I think I actually am.
Oh my god, here we go. I can't wait. I'm
Okay,
excited.
So I need you to click on a link that I'm going to send you in the Zoom chat. Right?
Okay.
This don't play it. It's a video. I just tried to
Alright.
paste it and it pasted the word Germaline. So ignore that.
That's brilliant.
Right. So
This is about Germaline again?
no. Right.
Is
so I'm
this
gonna,
Germaline?
So
Germaline
listen very closely, children.
Okay.
Listening.
I
Okay.
want you to click the video, but don't play
Okay.
it. But it should
All
play
right.
from
Play the video.
3 minute 10. Okay, but don't play
Okay.
it.
All
And
right.
Duke,
Okay, I'm
don't
not gonna
play
play
it.
it.
Don't play it over the podcast. Just sort of.
I got
watch
the
it,
audio
right?
muted.
Okay. Now don't play it. We're not playing it, right?
Right.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
ads
I've
that I
got
got to
an
skip
advert.
first.
Right.
Well, you
okay.
know,
Just
come
get
on.
there. Just get
So
there.
it's 2
right?
guys wearing all beige.
So I'll
These guys
explain.
got their
So-
clothes
no,
at
no, 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 no.
Mervin's.
Oh,
Let me
pause,
explain.
pause,
Let me
pause.
explain.
This is the
Let me
Boyle
explain.
family here.
Jesus
Right,
Christ.
shush.
Fuck
Shush.
me. It's so hard to get anything done.
I know.
Right.
I've paused. I've
Yes,
just paused.
yes, it
I'm
is. You're right.
waiting.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So I've never heard of this YouTube channel. They've got 4.1 million subscribers. They go around. They're British guys. They go around trying food, right? And they're in Dollywood. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So they're just talking about they've met a family that are all wearing matching T-shirts, right? And they say the only
Okay.
time you see matching T-shirts is when you have a stag do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
In Britain. So now
Britain.
I want you to play the video with no sound. Just play
I've got
it.
no sound. Okay.
Just play it.
Okay. We're
I'm
playing
playing
it.
it.
Ready?
I'm
1,
playing
2,
it.
3, play.
So
Okay.
they're
So they're
playing it.
gesturing at it. Should we describe what we see or just wait for
Just,
something
just
to happen?
wait.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my.
That's y'all.
What the?
So
fuck?
what
So
happens
we're
is-
looking at. Are you going to put the picture on the stream now?
Okay,
Well,
I'm right-
well,
I'm
no.
right in-
There's more to it, right?
All
Don't
right.
get excited. Right?
We are getting excited. Wait, do you want to dress? Of course, we're gonna get excited, Chinny.
Right. So what happened is they talk about lads wearing like stag doos, somebody dressed as a princess, and then a picture comes up of
Oh my
me
God.
and Stuart, Marsh, my brother Pete,
brilliant.
and Matt Weston, all dressed up as Mario and Luigi, and I'm dressed up as Princess Peach in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Now,
That's brilliant.
then I thought, well, where did they get that picture from? Because I've never
How
seen
did they
that picture.
know?
Yeah, how did he know?
You've never seen that picture? You've seen versions
No.
of it. You've seen things like
I've
it.
never seen it.
No, that's not one we
Wow.
took, I don't.
Someone
That's
must
not
have taken
one.
it as they passed you on that fateful day
Correct.
in Amsterdam.
Correct. And
Wow.
so the picture's on the screen now. So what happened, right, is that somebody took a picture of us, right? Me and Stu are pretty front and center on this photo.
We are
Yeah,
definitely front and center.
And
Wow,
it-
that's
and it-
quite amazing.
In a way, it's quite a wonderful picture, isn't it? Because Pete is also a main character. Marsh looks very lost on the phone. Matt looks
Yeah,
like
he
he's
does.
going to nut someone, right? And what I found out is that this picture is on lots of websites across the
Oh,
internet.
snap.
You're kidding.
No,
You're famous.
In
Right.
what way?
because the headline for this one is Prague set to ban bachelor party costumes in reduced chronic
You're
noise.
joking. So it's
You're
anti-stag
responsible
do.
for causing bachelor party bans in
Yeah.
Prague. You weren't even in Prague.
We're not even, but it looks.
That's fake news.
It looks.
So if you
Beautiful
do
dogs.
a Google image search, that's
I've
what
done a
comes.
Google image search and it pops up, and it originates. The original photo was uploaded in September 2018 by a man who just uploaded it to his Flickr. He must have been walking past.
Flickr.
Yeah,
That's
Stu,
Jesus.
brilliant.
And before
So
you start
it's come
going-
like a stock
and-
photo.
and before you start going, I wonder if we can get some money on this. No, because we were in the public and he took a photo in the public. It's all public domain. It's totally
Yeah,
fine.
well, he owns it because he took the picture.
Correct.
That's
Ask anybody
brilliant.
who's been the victim of revenge porn who owns those photos. It's the person who
So,
took it.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's on many websites, but
Wow.
it's so funny that like
That's
I am
crazy.
now a poster boy for stag do's,
Yeah.
and I don't drink. I'm totally
And you better watch
teetotal.
out. You're going to get targeted for grooming because you look like you're going after kids. And, hey, kid, you like Super Mario? Why don't you dress like a woman, like me?
I don't think
They're
so.
trying to warp the next generation, and I love
But
it.
It's very similar to in Peep Show when Mark gets caught, like he gets featured on the news for binge drinking, but he was having a picnic in a park, all right, and the news
Nice.
only took a certain angle of him, so he looked like he was binge drinking.
Awesome.
So Stu, what thoughts?
I'm just shocked.
Me and you are poster boys for louty stag bastards.
I wouldn't mind. We don't even look like we're doing that much wrong, do we? We're
we're
just,
just taking a
having a good time and having taking a picture. That's
I
mental.
love it. I love it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That's
yeah.
blown my mind.
Now, I want
Um,
to shout out because somebody sent me that video. Baron Van Glower sent me, says, "Hey
Ah.
Chitty, you might want to check out this video that dropped on the Jolly channel today."
Nice.
So
Stop
yeah,
playing Italian maintenance twins and get in here.
he
It's the only
said that
Mario sound I have.
Baron said he nearly choked on his cereal when he was watching it.
That's
That's
imagine
just
watching a YouTube video and like coming across us randomly, just or y'all.
Well, let's.
Oh my god, I know those people. Holy shit.
And can we just say how many views is it had? just
The
lovely.
video,
The channel has 4 million.
the video has had over 500,000, 650.
That's mental.
Damn.
Yeah.
So y'all need to be going out to events dressed up like that again and be like, you know us.
That's brilliant.
You know us. We're famous.
I'm good. I'm good.
I can't
We can
believe
monetize.
it.
We can get more
I must
followers.
admit, I am quite shocked.
Told you.
Yeah.
I told you. With your
You
fucking,
blown my mind. You blown my
Yeah,
mind.
you were
man.
right, Chinny. Good
You
job.
shitty-
You really did it.
with your
Yes.
shitty Germaline story.
Well, I have another story. We've been watching The Outlaws, and it's very good.
Cool.
Oh, I have another story. We've been watching Slow Horses. It's
These are not
fucking
stories.
amazing.
These are just things we're watching.
Oh, we just finished season 3. It was
This is
fucking
a
No,
video
that's a
brilliant.
story.
game
The
podcast.
Duchess and I watched The Outlaws, and we liked it. That's the end.
Can I just
Well,
say,
we
by
watched
the
the
way,
2 episodes.
if nobody has watched Slow Horses here, that,
Nobody's
like,
watching Slow
on the
Horses.
show,
All right. Anybody else got a
listen
story
the
to tell?
show, Watch Slow Horses. It's amazing.
All right, we're going to talk about video games now.
Where are you going?
Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
What you been playing? What you been playing?
props that make noises. They cannot stop using them.
There you go, flipping heck.
There you go. Who first?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna go first. I'm just gonna.
Oh, I thought you might say Chinny was so excited to talk about a certain game. He could no. Go ahead, Chinny. Stu. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start because I finished a game this week. I finished one.
Oh my god! Which game?
Oh my god, indeed! I have finished Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
All right, so that means you never need to talk about it again. Great. What's next?
Which, to be fair, is a fairly hefty game.
Game of the year.
It's taken me 13 hours.
Oof.
So it's pretty hefty for what was originally a Game Boy game.
Yeah.
A DS game.
A DS. I keep saying Game Boy. It's DS. DS game. You're right. It's a DS game.
If you can't keep these things straight, we might need to find a different person to abuse.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm old. All right.
People are listening. They're going to get all confused.
I know. Well, I'm confused.
Bring back Ben. Bring back Ben.
Bring back Ben.
Confused about
Bring back
Germaline?
Ben. Yes. This game is nothing short of amazing. Honestly, the story at the end blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. It's so well crafted, and the ending is so bloody brilliant. And it like you think that you've seen everything this game has to throw at you, right? Because
I did think that after like 10 minutes.
Well, you were wrong.
Okay.
So after like it's quite a lot of chapters, probably 13 chapters. You're doing much the same all the way through, but just more complex puzzles. So you're doing the same thing that you saw. But then as you get through into the game, like this timing starts to come into it. So they start making you do stuff that requires good timing.
Okay.
And you're having to pause it when you need to move from one object that's moving to another and all that kind of stuff. But then they introduce another whole set of mechanics about 13 chapters in.
Dude.
So there's another character that is also dead and has different powers to you, which is a really weird power. I don't know how they decided this was a power that they were going to give to a dead person or like animal, because it isn't
a walking corpse. Yeah.
No, you can swap objects that look the same. So
if you have a dildo and a vibrator, you'd be like, whoop.
Well, they have to look identically the same.
Some dildos
for
and
instance,
vibrators look identical.
You could swap a lemon and a rugby ball. Do you understand what I mean? So sometimes
a lemon and a rugby ball? Aren't rugby balls like this big?
No, but it doesn't matter about the
same
size.
shape.
It's the shape.
Oh, I see. So you could have like a small little bottle of Germaline and a very big bottle of root beer, and it would whoop.
Yeah, well, if they look exactly the same, yes, you can.
They do. We know that they taste the same.
They look the same.
So we've got a comment on Twitch.
Just read it out whenever they show up.
We don't get many comments.
No, we don't. We don't have many people listening on Twitch.
They say you suck. Stop broadcasting.
Colin Allcar says, "Call me when the gameplay starts." That's a diss to this game, Stu.
That's not true. There's actually a lot of gameplay.
Well done, Colin.
Yeah, there's a lot of game. It's just Chinny's not showing the gameplay.
It's sort of a talking.
I think I am.
It's because there's 20 hours of people talking about.
There's a lot of
things.
Story and there's a lot of gameplay.
Well, there's a lot of talking. I don't know about a lot of story,
but the story's great, by the way. But anyway,
so you're swapping things that look identical. Yes.
So
same
you can
shape.
swap things that look identical. So that's kind of a thing that they introduced. But then you've got to combine swapping things that look identical.
You said a word thing or a word.
I know. I've done that twice now. And then you have your own powers at the same time. So you then start switching between powers. So you're swapping things that look identical. And also manipulating stuff that's in the vicinity. Now, your powers, you can only reach so far, but obviously when you're swapping stuff, you can reach further. So there's then that chucks that into the mix as well. Honestly, there is so much shit going on. And then what they do is very clever and very similar to Portal. So, in Portal at the end of the game, like everything you've learned, you like combine and do all of that.
Yeah, and final fight. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's exactly the final like mission or final level of this game is that exact thing. And there's a third thing that gets thrown into the mix as well. So there's not only one, another character comes into the mix.
Where have they been all this time?
Well, that
Just
begins
waiting
the
in the
story
wings?
away. So that's part of the story. But that's only for the very final. And it's so fucking cool. Like the way it ends. And then it chucks all this other shit at you that like noodles your brain, which is probably why I'm talking a load of shit tonight because I've had my brain noodled by this game.
Unlike most weeks.
Yeah, true. Totally true. But yeah, I love the ending. I love and do you know what they did at the end, which I thought was just brilliant? It's one of the few games that I've actually watched the whole of the credits.
Christ.
Because I can't tell you how often I just go skip right at the end of the game.
Well, what was it about these credits that were so interesting?
So
the sound engineer, man, that guy looks so cool.
So every few seconds, right, during the credits, it stops and then it shows you what a character from the game is doing now. Right, and
it's like epilogues during.
It is kind of epilogues for every single character in the game, and there were a lot of characters. They have them
dancing like in the margins.
They have loads of crazy stuff going on, which actually made me grin more than once. I'm just like, it's just such a perfect game. I mean, Colin O'Carr says this doesn't really sound like Portal. It isn't, but it's as I would have said. Puzzle-wise, it's on a par. The puzzles are so satisfying.
As someone who has played 20 minutes of this game, I would say it is not in any way on par with Portal. Just my own personal opinion, but
I mean, but you didn't play a lot of it. I mean, as it goes on,
I just said 20 minutes.
It gets way more complex, and there's way more interesting stuff going on.
You're just too stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
Colin Allcars, look, there's a free demo on Steam. Give it a go, and then let us know. Send us an email. Let us know what you actually thought.
Send us a speak pipe so we can hear your voice when you talk about the game and how much love and joy is in it.
Yeah, exactly. See if you like it. You may not. You may do. Who knows? Give it a go.
Who knows?
But yeah, I loved it. I was very satisfied with the ending. I thought it was really well written. I thought the characters.
I'm genuinely glad you liked it. Yeah.
It's jeez. I mean, can I put this in my top 3 this year? I just don't know.
You can do what you like.
It's so good, and it
has the right to be wrong.
Just brilliant. So yeah, can't say enough good things about this game. So
all right,
there you go.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, people. If you want a DS game from what 5 years ago?
No, 2013. It originally came out.
Oh wow. 11
years old.
Check it out.
What's quite interesting, right? I thought this was exactly like the original one, and then I saw the original one on YouTube when I was looking for the video for it.
You said this is garbage,
and it's so pixelated. I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
It is very pixelated.
Yeah, they upscaled it up.
So they have very much smoothed it out.
Scale it up.
Yeah, scale it up.
We had a comment on YouTube, Bingus Dork. I don't know how this was recommended to me, but I'm here for this. Like this video, or like you're here for this podcast?
We have another comment on Twitch. I don't know what's going on with Twitch, but Twitch is popping off. We've had
Twitch is the place to be.
Two separate people comment on Twitch,
which is 3 more than we've had last week.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how that works.
The drunkard says, "I'm lurking while I'm working."
I'm also working. I'm grading papers. How about that, drunkard?
You're grading
High
papers.
five.
Yeah, you're a trooper, whatever.
I'm trying to grade papers, but y'all keep talking and being interesting. I can't concentrate on papers.
Cars says, "This doesn't really sound like Portal." He also says, "Or any good or halfway decent game." Sorry, Stu. He said he did say sorry.
He did say sorry. That's very polite.
Look, play it first and then give us an honest opinion. Don't give me an honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't give me an honest.
Only if you play it can you give your opinion.
Correct.
So, for instance, I can give my opinion because I played it.
You played it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Anything else about Ghost Detective Phantom Menace?
No, it's one of the best puzzle games I've probably played since Portal. Is what I would say.
Take that, The Witness.
Yeah, it's more accessible than that game.
Yeah, I heard Chinny. Speaking of finishing a game, I'm the only one who didn't finish a game this week.
Loser.
Yeah, you are a loser.
Chinny, what'd you play? What'd you finish?
I finally finished Zelda Breath of the Wild. It only took me 6 years.
Yeah,
but I
did. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, welcome to 2018.
2017.
Did you watch all the credits, Chinny? Did you watch every word in the credits?
No. No.
What did you do when you finished playing? You took a picture and sent it to us.
I was on the train from London.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had to work in London, which is good because where we were working was right by Euston Station. Stu, so you get off there. It's a 5-minute walk from there. You go in, film shit, free food. Did you? Oh, you saw? I sent you that video.
Yeah,
I?
You need to explain why were there so many VR headsets.
I was in a room that says you're in this room. I was like, okay, sweet. And if you want food, that way. If you want toilets, that way. We'll send people in, you interview them, and then you leave.
If you want 500 VR headsets, it's that way.
And I was just in a room with
Why?
20 VR headsets.
That's crazy.
And a huge TV, which I didn't film. But I don't know. It's basically.
Did you not ask? Did you not say, excuse me,
No,
why are there so many
because
VR
nobody
headsets in
knows.
here?
Nobody knows.
What, you mean it's just some random VR headset
I'll
room
tell you
that no
what
one
it
knows
is.
about?
I'll tell you what it is. The government funds these stupid innovation things, right? These little pockets of innovation bollocks. And then they fill these rooms with tech because it's all funded. And then people slowly, this tech slowly starts disappearing while it goes into other people's houses. And then it just gets transferred into like a different thing. So it's like helping digital businesses get digital bollocks. And this is London money we're fucking with here. So that's why I had 20 headsets. Anyway, I was on the train back and I was like, screw it. I'm going to finish this fucking Zelda game. I'm done, right? I'm
Making
doing
it happen.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You could say I was a little over prepared for the
were you?
boss. I basically
Yeah,
turned
you are.
up. I turned up. The 4 divine beasts. What the reason why you like get their help is they take off health from the final boss. Do you remember this, Stu?
Yeah.
So I got all 4 of them. So they knocked off all the health, and I basically just sort of slapped the main, like the boss. I just went like that, and he was dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't use half of my shit, and then you fight a big bull, and I stood still at one point just to see if this bull would attack me. It did not. But it's all spectacle. It's all sort of like, look at how big it is.
That's what she said.
It was a little underwhelming.
I was going to say, I bet you were underwhelmed. You see, what you've got to remember is, though, people finish this game without doing any of that stuff.
I know that.
So...
I know that. And the immediate thing that I did was check out speedruns. I was like, oh, I really want to watch speedruns of this thing. Yeah, I do know that. But, you know.
What's the fastest one now, by the way? What's the fastest speed?
It's like 5 minutes.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Crazy, isn't it? But there's different types. There's like a speed run where how fast can you die, which I thought was an interesting one.
I think I might have done that speed run.
And that's 59 seconds apparently. The fastest you can die in Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
No, but I'm not disappointed with the ending. It was very underwhelming, but I wasn't disappointed because the journey was fantastic. The gameplay loop was fantastic. And I'm like, well, what was I expecting? It's just going to be a big fucking pig boss, isn't it? And I'm just going to kill it and whatever. So it was cool. It was cool to get into the castle. Wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I think getting in wasn't. Do you remember getting into the castle, Stu? Do you remember?
Very. I remember I had to go to some dungeon place first or something.
I don't know. I just sort of walked in. I just went, hello.
Yeah, it's not difficult. I don't think. I don't remember it being difficult.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, hiya, how you doing? You know, I just walked in, killed a few sentinels, and bam, off I go. So, yeah, my journey with this was started it in 2018, played 20 hours of it, finished it, like put it down. Started it last year, played 10 hours of it, put it down. Started this year, 4 months later, I finished it. That's how long it's taken to.
Hallelujah.
To finish this game. So I won't be playing Tears of the Kingdom this year.
But you will play it at some point.
Oh yeah, I definitely will play it at some point.
You do like this game.
Yeah.
If you had played it when it came out, do you think it would have been one of your game of the year?
This?
Yeah.
2017. What came out? You know what? That's tough because you know what else came out in 2017?
Dead 2?
No, 2018 that was. Mario Odyssey came out in 2017. And I think PUBG technically came out 2017. So
it came out like 5 times.
Yeah, but I think that the official day was 2017. So I don't know if I don't know. It would have been in there.
Yeah.
It would have been in there, but
Okay.
I don't know. It's tough.
Well, look, it can be in your list this year. We've already established
Yeah,
that.
because we don't fucking
We don't
go
care.
by the rules.
We don't play the games that come out this year. We don't talk about games from
We're
7
real
years ago.
gamers. We're not veteran gamers.
That's
real
right. We're
gamers.
patient
Real
gamers,
bloody
as
gamers.
Reddit calls us.
Yeah. Can I just say, by the way, Neve Brown in the chat says just downloading Ghost Trick. So just say. Let's see.
But right now, I'm
Let us know,
playing
Neve.
Warhammer Space
know how
Marines
it
2.
is.
If you let me tell you this, Neum Brown,
No, it's Neve. Neve.
Ghost Trick and Warhammer Space Marines 2, they're almost identical.
They're the
Like,
same game.
You're gonna be like, I don't know which one I'm playing right now.
Look, you can have variety. I play first-person shooters. I play puzzle games. I play different genres of
What's
games.
the last first-person shooter you played?
Thingy, Call of Duty. Modern
That's
Warfare 3.
Got you there.
Not long ago. Oh, like, in fact, that's only like, what, 3-4 weeks ago?
What was the last good game you played?
Ghost
Well, he's
Trick
gonna have to go back a
fucking
bit for that.
amazing.
No, he
Struggling
played
there.
the Atlas thing the other week. That was good.
Struggling. So there you are. I've finished Breath of the Wild.
There you are.
I'm done with
Breath
talking
of the
about
Wild.
Yes.
Yeah, is that me then?
Sure.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, so there's this game called Skyrim. I just had the urge. I was like, I want to start a new playthrough, so I started a new playthrough. I've done. I never started a new playthrough as a bandit in the wild. Live another life. You have a choice. And someone told me like there's this like a mod for the mod where you can get like 10 other new ways to start off. And I was like, dude, all these different ways to start off. Anyway, it quickly becomes the same game. There's nothing to talk about. Rocket League is filled with sour children. Wayfinder
Oh.
is the game that I've been playing. That's new. So apparently, this was made by the people who made Warframe.
Oh, right.
And I don't know if people know Warframe,
yeah.
but Warframe is one of the most beloved free games in the world. It's on the PC. I don't think it's on the console. Warframe is a shooter. It's kind of like Destiny, but not as good as Destiny. But it's really, a lot of people love Warframe. So the people who made Warframe, DE, I don't remember what it stands for. They're the developers. And they made this game Wayfinder as an MMO. And people bought in founders packs and, investor levels and all this shit. And then the company had problems with launching servers and all this stuff. And they basically, I guess, just I think that DE was the publisher, and then Airsoft maybe or Airship is the developer. So anyway, the publisher just walked. They were like, all right, we're not doing this. And so the developer had this game, and they were like, well, we don't know how to make you don't know how to publish an MMO. So then they said, okay, we're just going to remake it as a single player RPG. And that's what they did. Right. So now it's out as a single player RPG. I saw a review on Steam because it was on sale this week for like $12. And I was like, all right, that's pretty cheap. It looks interesting. Right now, Chinny's showing this weird puzzle. It looks like Marble Madness, which is a very tiny part of the game. It's like getting perks. So if you would, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so somebody said this game is kind of like Kingdoms of Amalur meets Torchlight.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I like Kingdoms of Amalur a lot. Torchlight's okay. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, $12. Steam has a 2-hour no questions refund policy. If I don't like it, I'll give it back. I am not refunding it. This game is ill. I am enjoying it a great deal. It's an action RPG. The story is a bit shit. It's oh god, every fucking game.
I've lost some memory. We lost some memory by any chance.
It's don't worry. You keep finding these memory spots, and you'll get more of your memories back.
Oh yeah,
Stop it!
Breath of the Wild.
Fucking
Breath of the Wild
stop
does that, by the way. Like you've lost your
God.
memory at the start, and you have to find little
Damn
memory
it.
things.
People, there's other ways to write a fucking story in a video game. Anyway, I prefer making my own character. I realize that I've become obsessed with making my own character. I was gonna play Witcher 3 recently, and I'm like, yeah, but I have to play as Geralt.
You
I
have
want
to
to play as Geralt.
Geralt.
I want to play as a character that I create who's an older man who's gruff and has white hair. I would probably make a character very much like Geralt because that's what I often do, but I don't want to play whatever. So the point is, in this game, you have options of 3 different characters you can play. I guess there's 6, but you don't have options for the first 3. You only have to play the first 3 at start or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. The point is, it's a fun action game. It's very cartoony. A lot of abilities. I feel pretty invincible at the start. I came close to dying once, but for the most part, it's just I'm way overpowered. I'm just rah, rah, which is great. I'm not complaining about that, by the way. A lot of people will be like, you're so overpowered. I'm like, shut the fuck up. If that's a problem for you, turn the difficulty up. What is your deal?
We'll play Dark Souls.
Yeah, play Dark Souls.
Exactly. I do wish we had keyboard equivalents for the dialogue. When you meet with people and they're talking to you and you have to like click on the things. I'm like, I don't want to be clicking on things. Just let me hit buttons. I got my hand on the keyboard, got a hand on the mouse, whatever. It's not a big deal. It's kind of an open world game. There are there's like areas you go to, and then there's like, you know how in Borderlands you go to like a screen and then you push the button on the screen and you go to the next area?
Yeah.
Remember that? That's kind of what they do here, which allows them to obviously add a whole bunch of areas without having to like add on to the main map.
Yeah.
You just have a little screen and you just, okay. Yeah. And they got all these descriptions about the portals and the beacons and the gloom gates and the bread or lost zones and all these different things. It's just like, I don't care. Where's the monsters for me to kill, please? Because there's all this lore and all, you know, the gloom took over the world. And let me ask you a question. When you think of, you got to fight the gloom, what do you imagine the gloom is going to look like?
Like black, cloudy.
Yeah, or foggy, or yeah.
Did you guess fluorescent neon colored blocks?
No.
Digital imagery and pixelated? No. But that's the gloom. When you go to fight the gloom, it shows up as this like bright pink, purple, and black and white blocks, like these little squares on the screen, and it's like that's the gloom. And it's like, what? That's not what I would call it. I would call that the glitch mess or something. I don't know.
The glitch.
You can't equip things from inside your inventory, which is weird. You have to go to the character screen, which is different from the inventory screen if you want to equip things. So at first, I play a character who's got the 2 daggers. It's on the loading screen here, right? And it's like, they're really cool. They jump around. It's great. I love it. But lately, for reasons I can't explain, I really want a sword and a shield. Like, I want a sword. I want a shield. I want to be able to block. So I got a sword and shield combo in my inventory, and I was like, oh, sweet, I can have a sword and a shield instead of these daggers. But I couldn't equip it, and I was like, oh, I guess my character can only use daggers. But then later on, I was looking around in the character screen, and it was like, weapon, and I was like, oh, I tried it there, and it allowed me to equip the sword and the shield. I was like, why not just allow me to do that from inside the inventory? What are y'all doing?
That's really random.
So bizarre. However, the nicest part of the inventory is that, as a lot of games do, but every game should, you can, especially a game where you collect a lot of loot all the time, which this one very much is, you can go in and indicate, okay, I want to mark this as a favorite, or I want to mark it to sell. And then you go to a vendor and you can just hit the button that says sell all things, you know, marked to sell. So it streamlines the process a lot.
It reminds me of Darksiders.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
like
got, I think, some of
Yeah,
that.
it does have that look about it, doesn't it? That cartoony,
It's cartoony.
almost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're jumping around, dodging and rolling and stuff.
And I loved
there's
the
snipers.
First, the first Darksiders. I loved that game.
Yeah, you can see the snipers locking on you with their red light beams and stuff. So you got to watch out for that. There's a block mechanic, and if you time it, you know, like a parry, if you time it right, you can do more damage to the other person and stuff. It's great. I'm really loving it. It's a lot of fun.
Looks solid.
It's light. Yeah, it's solid. It's light. It's fun. It's, you know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. There is a lot of stuff on the screen, as you can see. There's a lot of, you know, you get all the loot, like it's constantly just coming in, and there's not different currencies, but there's different, you know, you got the yellow coins, and then you've got like the green glowy bits that you collect, and then you can, you know, upgrade your abilities, and then you can like enchant weapons, and then you can level up. I think maybe level up your weapons. You know, like there's all these different ways of adding depth
do you
to.
think that's a lot of like that becoming spillover from it being an MMO originally?
Yeah, I think probably yes. And they may have said like, well, it's too hard to take that out. Or they may have said like, you know, because some people like that stuff, you know, like Path of Exile has a lot of that. So it's hard to know. I think it definitely was something to keep people coming back for the MMO. And now that it's a single player game, it's probably left over from that. But it may also be like, it's a good thing to have it in here because it does keep people coming back to this game. Like the difference between MMOs and single player games feels like it's thinning anyway. So
Yeah.
who knows?
I'd agree with that.
Yep.
Very
So
good.
Wayfinder, thumbs up.
Looks good.
It's funny because like when I went looking for gameplay, like a lot of it's from like a year ago when it was still an MMO, and a lot of the reviews and the, you know, the description, I think the wiki is still mostly like this is where it was before. So it's like it was hard for me to figure out what's going on, like what I needed to do, because all the descriptions and the how-to and the walkthroughs and the let's plays were all from the days of the MMO. So if you go looking for information on this game, you're probably going to find a whole bunch of stuff from a while ago. But and apparently, so I think the thing that just recently got released is called Wayfinder Echoes, but they're going to release version 1.0 soon, which Satisfactory also just dropped 1.0. And then 1.0 is supposed to be even more different than what is currently available with Wayfinder Echoes. So I don't really know any of that. Some people were saying, like, if you want to play it, don't play it yet. Like, wait till 1.0 comes out in a month. And I was like, well, no, I'm going to play it now. Maybe I'll start over when it comes out in 1.0.
Well, that is your thing, Duke.
It is my thing. Start it up and let's start over.
Start it up and let's start over.
The drunk card in the chat says, this is the chap who said he was working while lurking.
Yes.
He's making a VR game that was at Gamescom XR section this year, and we definitely didn't get any money for being there, lol.
He's making a VR game?
Wow, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Good on you for making games.
Yeah, what sort of game is it? Give it a tout. What is it?
Chinny knows somebody with 20 VR headsets.
He does. He does. He knows where there is some. They can play on all of those at once. Yeah. Right, I'm going to go on to Ghost of Tsushima because I'm still plowing my way through this game, and I've got a problem. I've got a problem.
Uh-oh.
Got a problem with it.
Go on.
Got a problem with it. I smell like beef. I keep getting distracted all the time, right? I've got so many quest lines going on at the moment, right? And I haven't finished any of them.
Yeah.
Because I just keep starting a new one. I'm like, I haven't finished the other one. And they're all in like 9 parts. Yeah. So it's like you've done 3 of whatever 9 parts. And I've done 3 of 9 parts of about 4 different missions.
Yeah,
right?
And then you forget what you got. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what was I doing on
for
that
me, it's
one?
quite awkward because I play the game walking next to a person going, God, I don't remember her name. And you know what I mean? You know, it's very socially awkward sort of thing. Oh, we need to do this. Right on, girl. You go for it, lady. So yeah, there's a lot of that. I'm like, I can't even remember where.
And
what I was
right,
doing.
this must be a really, really poor country because nearly every character you meet is a peasant. It's just like peasant peasant that, peasant.
It takes place what, 300 years ago?
Yeah, but there's only peasants. There's like peasants and soldiers.
Yeah, but that's been most of human history. Most people have been peasants. Feudal systems. You know, the most jobs were in Monty Python, the whacking at the dirt with a stick. Right? There's some lovely mud down here.
But that's this game. Peasants, soldiers,
well, there you go.
And a very odd rich person. You very occasionally come across someone
that pyramid marks drew, man. That's the people down here. There's a lot of them. The aristocracy, not so many.
Who's not a peasant. But there must be like something in between peasants and rich people, sure.
There is now. The bourgeoisie, but that didn't exist 300 years ago.
I don't know. I just feel like there must have been somebody else.
People to like have a fucking terraced house with a 3-bedroom ensuite.
I don't know. I'll be honest. Some of these peasant dwellings look pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a video game. They don't want to make them look like they actually do. It's all scum shit houses.
Yeah, but
so that's a problem as well.
They don't render like the bit where they shit in the corner.
Exactly. It's not like they've all got nice screen doors, you know. I mean, they all put the slippers on when they go inside and all that stuff.
Yeah, these properties have fetched a fair bit now.
By the way, Tainted Brain had a problem with this for that very reason, didn't he? Because they don't take the shoes off and put slippers on. They literally, I mean, your main character just literally walks into every dwelling. He never respects it. You know what I mean? I mean,
he hasn't got time.
Japan, they fucking respect that shit. You know what I mean? Their slippers are off.
I don't know. I've never been.
Or their shoes are off. Slippers are on. They don't walk into anywhere. Like I said,
I feel like if you're a samurai or whatever, and you're just killing. You ain't got time.
Yeah, but the samurai live by a certain code, though.
Of course they do.
But it's a video game. Like, they're not going to be like, you could go in here if you wanted to totally dishonor this family. You got to get through it to go get the dude you're chasing.
If this was a Hideo Kojima game, they would have done it.
Yeah, they would have definitely done it.
There would have been a cutscene every door.
Yeah.
But
where you take your shoes off.
But part of that reason, I guess, is because this isn't a Japanese developer, is it? It's a Western developer that's made a
it's
Japanese
Sucker
game.
Punch, isn't it? Is it Sucker Punch?
Yeah, yeah. So they're not Japanese.
The infamous people.
It is the
They're
infamous
infamous.
people. So it does
Yeah,
make you wonder. But I wonder whether the Assassin's Creed game will make you wear slippers. Just say.
These are the
Probably
questions
not.
that people are really thinking about.
Correct.
That's why
These
people
are-
tune into this show.
Exactly.
You don't hear this on the One Up podcast or whatever.
We
it is.
are asking the questions other podcasts
One Up
don't ask.
podcast has not been going for like 13 years.
No.
Just to let you
Well,
know.
I don't
that's
know. I don't know what popular video game podcasts exist now.
Well, you wouldn't.
Okay.
We're on this one, would we?
Yeah. One up yours. That's
Well,
what
but I
we
could
wanna
listen to other ones.
Um,
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
so
You definitely could. But that aside, I mean, that is really only a very small quibble.
And that's why we talked about it for 5 minutes.
Exactly. Even
Is
the
it
keep
fun?
getting-
Are you having fun?
That's the problem. It's too much fun, and that's why you end up getting
Yeah.
distracted and not finishing anything.
this
Sure.
game,
You know what I mean?
this game just means lockdown to me. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
damn, this would be the perfect game to play on the train going to London.
Well, I played this a lot during lockdown. This was just
Yeah.
my lockdown game. So
Yeah.
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 But it is great. It looks great. It plays great. The story's fine. It's got a lot going for it. That's what
great.
I'm gonna say.
It's great.
It's got a lot. The other, by the way, the other really big issue playing this game is the sound of my PS4 Pro is off the decibel level. My
Well,
wife
good-
comes
there's,
down.
there's good news for you, Stu.
What's that? What's that?
There's a bloody new PlayStation announced.
No,
I bet you can't wait, can you?
No, I can't wait. Can't wait. But yeah, my wife, every time she comes in when I'm playing it, she's like, what the fuck is that
What have you got?
noise?
Why have you got the hairdryer on?
Yeah, what is that noise? It is so loud. It's beyond loud.
Why are you air drying, vacuuming, and drilling at the same time?
I've even, this is no word of a lie, I've even taken to wearing my headphones whenever I play this game because you can't, you can hear it, but it's so distracting. You know, like, you can hear it, obviously, because we've got a decent sound system, so that's fine. But even over that, you can hear it in the background, like, blowing away.
The only time I heard the fan on this game is when you go into the photo mode.
All right, okay.
Because you can change the weather in the photo mode.
Right.
And that basically made my PS4 take off.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. But luckily I've got the latest PlayStation console and there's no other console gonna gazurp me, so I'm good for now.
Yeah. And let's be honest, there's no Naughty Dog game come out for a bit, so.
But there's no, I've got the PlayStation 5 launch console, so I'm good. I'm set, and I.
You are set. I've never bought one. I've no interest in buying one at the moment. I'm a bit of a flip flop, aren't I? Because I was.
You're a little gaming slag, Stu.
I was 360, then I was PS4, then I was PS4 Pro, then I've gone back to Xbox. You know what I mean? I've been all over the place.
You have. I wouldn't touch you with the bar.
But do you know what? Do you know what though? I don't play consoles. I play games.
I just threw up in my mouth when you said that.
It's true, man. I ain't no fanboy. I'll play whatever the best games are.
I'm a fanboy of the Sega Saturn. That's where I'm a fanboy.
Actually, I'm a fanboy of the GameCube.
I love my GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube is pretty good.
Right, next game, please.
Right. Yes, Chinny, it's back to you.
Chinny, back to you. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Stu, you'll like this. I
What?
played Thank God You Answered.
Oh, thank God you've answered.
Or, as the British call it, Thank Goodness You're Here.
I should totally call it Thank God You Answered in the US. That would make me so happy.
Yeah.
So you played this game. Stu loved this game. You did not
I
love the other
absolutely
game
loved
this group made, Chinny.
No. I do like this, though.
Okay.
I do like it in a kind of like... It's stupid, isn't it?
It's
Basically.
very stupid.
It's stupid. It's very well drawn, very well animated, but it's a stupid game. It's so stupid.
Now the other game was stupid that we played. What's the difference?
Because that was more sort of like, it was a lot more abstract, which I didn't like. I like
Okay,
things
yeah.
a little
This
bit
is an
more
actual
grounded.
city in England.
Yeah, well, no, but it's like it's
No, it's
on-
based on one though.
It's based
No, but
on,
it's a real place though. I mean, it's like not a real place,
Well-
but it's a place where humans. It's not some squishy cloud world.
Yeah, you can relate
what I mean.
to it. You can
Yeah.
relate,
Right,
especially if
right,
you are
right.
British and come
like
from the
we
north.
we
Right,
those
sure.
grit bins, we have those on our streets. Those
Okay.
little bollards with the arrows on them, we have those on
Gotcha.
our streets. That's what
Okay.
the
Yes.
UK
Right.
looks
That's
like.
what I meant.
That guy with his hand stuck down the drain. That's actually, if you look out my window, you can see one like that. Yeah, it's all fun. I don't really know what to say about it. I remember, like, I haven't.
Have you
finished
finished it? Did you play?
No.
Have you played and finished?
No, I haven't finished it, but I remember sort of like putting it down, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna say on the show about this game. I like the bit where he slaps everything. I think that's a good mechanic. Like, you just like, you want to talk to someone, you just slap him around the face.
Yeah. Have you done the smacky bum bum bit yet?
Smacky bum bum bit.
It's
No,
Smacky bum bum.
It just made me laugh so
I
much.
don't think so.
There's a
Maybe.
guy, there's a big fat bloke in a burger van, and then he turns
No, I
around to
don't
do
know.
something, and his bum's sticking out the hatch. And you slap him on his bum. You can jump up and slap him on his bum, and then he
Cool.
closes the hatch, and he's got a note on that says "Closed due to smacky bum bum."
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of that, isn't it? Really.
It's a lot of that.
It's a lot of that. It's just. It's just, you know, somebody sticking sausages through a fence hole, smacking people's fish display.
That's funny with all the facts, cigs
yeah.
and fish.
Yeah.
Attention, U.S. listeners. They're talking about cigarettes.
Yeah.
They're not talking about slapping gay men.
I like this as well, where you're on a lawnmower and there's two daisies in the foreground. Just
That's
saying,
hilarious. It's just
I love you, I love you, and you know you're gonna run them over, and it's good stuff.
And he's good at it. Just every time we go across, he's a bit closer.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
It's very funny. I laughed a lot.
It's so difficult to do a comedy game. It's so difficult.
Yeah, that's true. It's very difficult.
And I think they've nailed it here. Like, comedy is hard, full stop. Doesn't matter what.
Yep.
Oh,
what
yeah,
medium
definitely.
you're delivering it with.
Yep.
But video games, I think, is probably one of the hardest to do comedy because so much of it relies on timing, and you've got things like
that's true.
loading.
And even
screens
though you know what the punchline's gonna be, it's still funny because you know what's
Sometimes
funny.
that's the best joke if you know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Other successful comedy video games. I'm trying to think of some.
Monkey
Portal,
Island,
Portal
obviously.
2, Portal
Portal 2.
I wouldn't call Portal 2 a comedy video game. It's very funny,
It's,
but I don't think their main purpose was
I
to set.
suppose
I mean,
I-
I'm talking about like
yeah,
comedy is the heart of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a comedy game, isn't it? Like, this is like the joke is, and usually those types of games where it's a comedy game are not very good. They're just not very good. I can't think of any like Leisure Suit Larry.
South Park.
Yeah, South Park. But you,
See, Leisure Suit Larry's not that great, really.
But that's the thing is, no, Legislature sucks. What South Park does, and I think what this game probably does, I don't know, I played it, but they have good mechanics in it as well. So Portal 2 is very funny, and they did emphasize comedy, obviously, in the writing of it, but they knew they had to make a really good, satisfying game. And I think South
Yeah.
Park also wanted to do. Goat Simulator doesn't have a good game in it. It's silly. Obviously, it was successful, but come on.
and this isn't really a game. You're not really doing much. There's a bit of a puzzle.
Right.
There's bits of puzzle, but it doesn't take a lot to
Yeah.
figure. Like, I'm flying through it basically. I played it for an hour. I'm just flying through.
Yeah, I finished this in one sitting. So
Yeah, I
finished...
didn't finish because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning when I.
But what I think is great about this game is you've got to explore quite a lot in all the areas that you're in because there's so much to find. You know what I
But
mean?
it's-
There's constantly stuff to
it's-
find.
It's basically just slapping stuff, isn't it? Just walking around slapping.
It is, but you've got to. It's funny what triggers when you slap it. You know,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. You're never quite sure what's going to happen, and you've really got to just sort of keep looking because I don't think I even did the mole thing.
No, I
So I
don't.
never-
What's on the screen now? I don't.
No,
know.
I didn't. I don't think I did that. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I missed that. There's so much going on in every scene that you're in, and I think it's that case of exploring the area and finding out what's in the area and what it all does.
Yes. I don't.
And
know
like you say,
why-
it's slapping stuff, but it's just funny.
I don't know why the registration plates are the same. I don't know why.
No, I didn't find it. I actually Googled that to see if it meant anything, but I couldn't really find anything.
Yes. Good stuff.
It's a great game.
I like
I
it.
loved it.
It's fun. It just sort of like, it's kind of like a weird fever dream, isn't it? Really, when you play
Yeah.
it's sort of just a bizarre sort of thing.
And it is kind of a Metroidvania because you'll half do a puzzle in one area and then you can't do it any further until you've done something else elsewhere.
Yeah.
So stuff unlocks as you're playing the game. You know what I mean? The further you get through the game, then you unlock stuff you've done previously, and you realize that as well. It does a really good job of going, oh yeah, you've done this now. You can go back and do that.
And I think that it's rare to have a game where the main driver in the game is to see what funny stuff is going to happen next.
Yeah.
Whereas I suppose Duke's point is like Portal 2, though it is a funny game, that's not your main driver, is to see what the next joke. It's just to see what happens. So, this is just like what joke is going to come next, like what stupid UK reference is going to come. And I did play it, Stu, you'd be proud, in native tongue.
Are there options for how they're talking?
Yes, there's the native tongue Yorkshire sort of style, or I think a little bit more RP, a little bit more traditional British. Have we got Stu back?
Yeah, sorry. Do you know, it's the first time it's done it. We've done quite well. I thought I'd sorted it with my new settings, but it doesn't seem
I was
to
saying, Stu, that I've played it in its native tongue. You'd be proud of me.
Yeah. There's a thing as well, by the way. If you pick the don't know, you know, when it asks you what you want to play it in.
Yeah.
You get subtitles with translations, so
Oh,
it translates. So it translates.
They all
everything.
say the same things, but it's just translated, right?
So it's translated into
I
Americans would understand it English.
I seem to pretty much understand everything that's going on. So, all good.
It's good. It's great. I loved it. So it's definitely going to be up there for my top 5 games this year, I would have said.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very, very good. There's lots of good games. I played a lot of good games this year.
Duke, I think you're up.
Yeah, I'm up. So I'm going to talk about a game that's kind of new. This is a little bit new. I got a new game.
What is with you playing new games?
I'm saying that Wayfinder's not that new, but Spectre Divide is kind of new. I don't know when this came out. Let me look. By the way, I did a Google search for comedy video games, and Portal 2 is right at the top. Octodad, I suppose that could be considered a comedy.
That's great.
game.
I played that in co-op with Millie. I
Octodad
played that in co-op.
would count, I think, yeah.
But it puts some weird games up here, like Borderlands 2. That's not a comedy game. Like, it's funny, but
it has comedy
High
elements,
on Life.
I
I could see High on Life being classed as a comedy game.
Yeah.
Yakuza Like a Dragon? No. Brutal Legend? Come on. Goat Simulator, Stanley Parable, except it's not funny. Anyway, Spectre Divide. When did it come out? I want to see.
This year.
It's pretty recent. Yeah, August of this year. So it's like a month old, people. This is
that's
top
about as new as it
draw.
gets.
This is new.
This reminds me of 13. Remember that first-person shooter?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that cel-shaded look.
Yeah. This game is like if Valorant... I guess Valorant is a clone of Counter-Strike, right? So I wouldn't have to combine it with Counter-Strike. So it's Valorant, but the twist is there's 2 of you.
Oh.
So you control 2 characters at once, and you can basically swap between them.
Oh,
right.
God.
It's really weird. You basically set your person down, and then you switch to your other person, then you go run and you do stuff, and if somebody walks near where your other person is, you get a little notification, hey, Spectre sound alert or whatever, and you can switch back to the other one. Now what I did was I swapped to my other guy, got killed, and then went back to my first guy and then got killed. Like, I'm not great at shooters, and because, as you can see on the screen, there's so many different effects. The reason I had trouble with Valorant is because I never learned all the different things that you're seeing on the screen, the purple clouds and the green waves of stuff, and like, I don't know what any of this shit is. I want to have a gun. I want to shoot people with my gun. I'm a weirdo. But anyway, so this game has that stuff.
Does it work? Do you feel like you're in control?
You do. I mean, you do feel like you're in control. Like it does. The mechanic works fluidly. The question is, does it help make the game more fun? And for me, the answer is no. The only way in which it's a nice mechanic of having 2 of you is that when you die, you're not actually out of. You're not out of the game. You're just you got another life. But people who are good at this are obviously going to be really good at like drawing your fire with one of their dudes and then coming in with the other, or they might throw a grenade with one person and then run in with their second
So
person or whatever.
when you're controlling one character, the other one's just stationary, is it? Invisible
correct,
to everyone,
yes,
so
yes,
everyone can
right.
see it. Just sounds
Yes.
weird.
It does sound weird.
It is weird. And the interesting part of the tutorial was, you come to a part with bars up, right? And you can't get past it, but you have this little puck and you can fling the puck and then spawn your double in there. So you can get to places that you couldn't get otherwise, which could be a really cool mechanic in like a story game or something. But the fact that it's a Counter-Strike Valorant type game means that it's just kind of a gimmick. And I don't know. I mean, look, it's hard to judge these games when you only play it for a little bit because you have to learn the maps, you have to learn how other people are moving, and it takes a while to get used to things like that. The frustrating part for me was that you can't quit. Like, it was clear that the other team was working as a team and that my team was a bunch of random noobs who didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So we were just getting stomped. And I was like, all right, I need to stop playing this. Maybe I'll come back to it later today or whatever. And the quit button was locked. There was a lock icon. It was grayed out.
Wow.
Like I can't quit. What the fuck? I can't quit. What are you doing?
Did you try and
So
turn your
that was-
PC off and then
I thought about it. I
wouldn't
thought
work?
about F4, Alt F4, or like Control Alt Delete and just fucking force
What
it
are
to
you,
quit
what are
or
you
something.
doing, Duke? What are you doing?
I gotta turn the power off, Duchess.
Could you not just like press the Windows key and then right click
I
on it
mean,
and close
I
it?
thought about it, but then I was like, okay, look, they're not going to bring someone new. I guess with the way they want it is to be like, look, you're in here, you're a team, you're going to play to the end. Like, it doesn't take that long. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. I'll keep going. Like, I'm not helping my team. They would be better off with bots, but whatever. It's just bizarre. And I think they just want you to stick with it. Maybe your first or 2 or 5 games.
It just feels like a stretch. It almost feels like what can we do to make it different?
Right.
Even
Well,
if it
yeah.
doesn't really work very well, what can we actually do? I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that if you got good at it, it could really change. I mean, it changes the game, I suppose, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I think
just
Valorant
seems
came
weird.
along and said, "Look, we're going to take Counter-Strike and make it fun and goofy and add all sorts of weird, abilities." And then this game said, "Yeah, we'll do that too, but also you can have 2 people. You'll have a double, and it is gimmicky." So
It's very gimmicky.
It's very gimmicky. I feel like it doesn't add anything.
it really
Well,
doesn't. I agree with that.
I mean, I've not
So-
played it, but that's what I've seen. by
Yeah,
looking
I
at
mean,
it.
you play. I don't know. And it made me wonder, like, because this is so different from Call of Duty in that, like, you gotta kind of be a little slow. Like, it's a strategic game. Counter-Strike is a strategic game. For as frenetic as it is, it still ultimately is like, okay, somebody's got the bomb. You got to protect them. Let's cover the cross areas. Like, there's strategy involved. And I'm used to running around and shooting stuff. So when I got done playing this, I was like, all right, you know what? I need some Titanfall. That is the opposite of this game. And I reinstalled it and I've played it. I'm like, Titanfall's amazing. I really like Titanfall's multiplayer. So Titanfall 2, that is. Still never played the
Yeah.
single player on that. I should
That's
have.
mad. It's such a great
So
game as well.
good.
I know. One of these days,
One of these days, maybe you will.
maybe.
Okay.
Is it time?
It's time for Play My Game, bitch. I would imagine.
Yes, it is. And which is also this week a Does It Hold Up?
Does
Yeah,
it hold
it's
up?
definitely a does it hold up.
Does it hold up? Does it hold up?
This is why Amar is listening live, despite the fact he has COVID and should be resting or whatever.
Yeah.
Because
so
he
yeah,
made it happen.
it did. This originally came out on the Commodore Amiga, by the way. That's how old this
Jeez.
game is. So this is by
Classic.
the Bitmap brothers, who made loads of fucking cool games for the Commodore Amiga.
What else
back
did they
in the
make?
day. They made that thing with the death ball thing. I can't remember. It was like rollerball, but it was you just ran around them through a Speedball 2.
Okay.
That's what they made. Speedball 2.
Okay.
They made quite a few. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but
Z.
they made a
Speedball.
yeah, they made a load of games, and they all have a very distinct graphical style to them. Like this game, for instance, they all
Okay.
look kind of similar sprites.
Xenon, Cadaver, Gods, Magic
Xenon.
Pockets,
Yeah.
Xenon, World War II Frontline Command.
Yeah, they made tons and tons of games for Commodore Amiga.
Okay.
So yeah, this is so you can play this local co-op, online co-op, or single player, and you have an AI character, which I'll be honest, isn't great.
No.
I didn't
Yeah,
feel like
the
AI
question, does it hold up? I'm sorry to say the answer is no.
No, it doesn't. And it's incredibly difficult. I've
It is
thought,
pretty difficult, yeah.
as you got further into the game. And these games were like that. I mean, let's not forget, this is an old game and they were designed.
It's from a different time.
It
It
is.
is.
And
That's
they were-
exactly what I said to the Duchess. This is a game of a certain time and place.
Yeah. And they do. It was designed kind of like on the proper arcade cabinet games, which
Yeah.
obviously when you've got, you know, you don't have to have 3 lives and stuff like
Right.
that. Why have
Right.
it?
Right,
Do you know
because
what I mean?
that's
'Cause
the
that
way
was-
games are made. Like people, there's a playbook, and they just keep using that playbook. This game reminds me a lot of Akari Warriors. Did y'all ever play Akari Warriors back in
I
the day?
don't think I did.
It was on the NES. It was in the arcade. My brother and I, that was our game, because as long as if you died and you lost your 3 lives or whatever, 5 or whatever it was, but if the other person was alive, you could continue, you could come back in, right? So you just had to make sure you didn't both die at the same time, because then it would be game over. But we would just keep going forever. And that was the first game I remember being able to do that. And you couldn't do that in Contra.
No.
But you could do it in Akari Warriors. And so this game kind of lets you do that. But
It does. I don't know whether that was in the original game though, or whether that's just been added for the modern,
yeah, I don't know.
updated game.
But when I died in the Mud Rivers and I started, my third death, my third life or whatever, and then it started me back at the beginning of the Mud Rivers, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
There's no reason this game couldn't just have infinite continues, but it still decides to have 5 of them or something rather than. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me, because the whole point of that sort of stuff was to just get you to keep putting money in. And you're not putting money in this, so it makes no difference. So if you're doing an updated version of this game, for God's sake, just let us continue from a save point.
Yeah,
Infinitely.
agreed.
There's no reason to stop us doing that and make you eventually start the game from the beginning again. So I didn't like it for that reason. Do you know what I mean? Overall, I didn't actually think it was that bad. It reminded me a little bit like a twin stick shooter of a sort.
Yeah,
I suppose. I didn't really mind it. I like the enemies out. I mean, it wasn't crazy difficult, but I did keep getting killed at odd times.
And right, and the reason it is relatively difficult is because one bullet, one little dot on the screen hits you, and you lose like half your health or something. So you have to be very careful not to touch anything.
And it took me a while to figure out how to do the superpower thing.
Yeah.
Like the special. I'm like, how the hell do you do? And I had to press and I think it was press and hold the bumper and then let go or something, or press and hold B key or X key or something. It was some key. I think it was B. You had to press and hold it though. If you just pressed it once, it didn't activate it. I'm like, fuck's sake, I just want a single press it and it activates. I don't want to hold it. Why do I need to hold it?
That's the way it was back in the day, man. You want that authentic experience.
I don't know. It just made no sense. What did you think, Ginny?
I struggled with it, to be fair. I mean, it is from 1993, so you got to give it a little bit of slack.
And it looks pretty much. By the way, this is the Amiga footage, I think. So it looks almost identical.
It looks all right. It looks all right for something that's
graphics aren't
very
bad.
old. But it reminded me of sort of like a cannon fodder or He Who Dares, which was like an old Amstrad game. I didn't really know that this was a game from 1993. By the way, I started it up and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then I looked it up. I was like, "Right, it is from 1993. I don't need to slag it off." Because at the time, I imagine it was very good. But these days, it doesn't feel like
we were more limited back then, so we accepted stuff like this, didn't we?
I struggle with that. Like going back, I think I struggle with that era. I think the Super Nintendo era. And this might have been for the Super Nintendo. I think that was better than. Yeah, this probably would have been that same time. I just sort of struggle with like some games back there, like the Contra 3 or Super Probotector as I know it. I can play, but that's pure nostalgia. But if it was a game that I didn't know, I probably wouldn't play it. So it's. I feel like there's a lot of nostalgia kicking in here for Armor. It's not like terrible, and I'm sure. If I was in 1993 playing this, I'd play it till completion, and it would.
I think I think it would have probably been more fun had I played it in co-op with someone else. Rather than just playing it single.
Oh yeah, totally.
With a totally bogus AI like character, which barely seemed to do anything.
Yeah.
Apart from follow you around, it just kind of follows you around.
They
doesn't
pick
it?
up the gold coins.
It came out in. It came out on the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Amiga 32, the CD32, MS DOS, Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, mobile phone, Windows, OS, Linux. It's come out on everything pretty much. So
Yeah.
it did come out on the Super Nintendo.
But you can't. Do you know what though? That all being said, you can't take away anything from the Bitmap brothers. They made
Yeah.
such an impact on gaming on the Commodore Amiga and Atari ST. I mean, they were the developers at the time.
Yeah.
They made so many massive games.
Speedball. I remember liking
Speedball 2
Speedball.
was
Yeah.
brilliant. Speedball 2 played a shit ton of that game around the same
Yeah.
time as Kickoff and Sensible Soccer. You know, they were the go-to multiplayer games that we used to play all the time.
Yeah, Speedball 2 I remember playing quite a lot of, and I think Speedball 1 as well I used to play a lot of, but yeah, I never heard of this really, or unless I have and I've completely forgot it, but yeah, it's okay.
Well, thank
but
you,
it's a
Armand. We
good
do
thing out of its
appreciate
time.
it. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us why you loved it. Give us a speak pipe.
Yeah, tell us why you love this game
Yeah.
and why we're wrong. That's probably the best.
I do think it is that you got to have that personal experience with it back in the day. It's like if someone played Myst today, they probably wouldn't love it.
I played it
Like,
to be fair, I played it when it came out again on was it on the Apple? I think it might have been on my iPhone or iPad.
Yeah,
I played Myst
they
for the
put it on all
first time.
sorts of things, but
And I thought Myst was great. You know,
I mean,
even
that's
now.
cool. But you like weird and shit games. Like, I think the average player of puzzle games would probably look at Myst, and especially like if it's not the walk around one, like if it's the screen by screen one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it
it's not
was the
updated
screen
mechanics.
by screen one. That's what
Okay,
it
fair
was.
enough. I just, I don't know. I could, but I'm saying like I love Myst, but I could understand if somebody played it, they'd be like, ugh, what the fuck. So I think that you got to have that willingness to step back a little bit and be like, all right, I love it, mostly because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And not expect everyone else to love it the same way. But I he offered to buy this for me and I chose to buy it myself, but I do appreciate his desire to share the love of things that he thinks are awesome. It's just that this one is not.
Yeah, and you know what? It wasn't awful because, like I said, again, we've got to realize when this was originally released. But
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to make any time to play it again. So
Right, but I'll play RoboCop, the arcade game, to this day. I'll play
Yeah,
Galaga
yeah.
to this day. Like there's some games that have stood up, and there's very few to be fair. But yeah, whatever. Swing and a
Well,
miss
thank
for
you,
me.
Amar.
But thank you, Amar. We
Yeah,
do
and I hope
appreciate
you do feel better soon.
Yeah, really. Poor Amar.
Yeah.
But he got the Chris Rock bit. More Tussin. You run out of Tussin, put some water in it, shake it up. More Tussin.
Yeah. Yeah, because COVID sucks, as we know.
Yes, it does.
COVID sucks.
Anybody got any other games?
No, I think we're fine to move
No.
on because I have played a little bit 1,000 times with this, but not enough to really talk about it much. So.
Nope. We got news, or are we going into emails?
I think we
no,
should
I've-
talk about the
on.
PS5 Pro.
Do we have to?
Putting news.
It's rare that Chinny Will's talking about news, so I think this
I know,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Do we have
Yeah.
to? Let's,
Do we have to? Do we have
Must
to,
we?
though?
do
Do
we?
we?
I mean,
Okay.
like so
I'm
for
up,
people
mate.
that
I'm
don't
in.
know,
Cookie.
everybody knows. They announced the PS5 Pro. It's like $700 or
I don't know. I don't know anything about no.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact price, but it's a lot. It's like $700.
Yeah, it's about $700.
without nice cookie, without the disc drive. So the model
Yeah.
that I've got is the most expensive one of the
Yeah,
PS5.
you've got to pay. You can get one to attach to it.
for
You've gotta
another
pay extra.
$100.
Got to pay extra.
And then
Does it have like water cooling or some kind of good
Of
fan?
course.
Because
Yeah. Well, the original
somehow
PS.
I tried playing Star Wars Outlaws and it kept locking up my PS5.
Yeah, the
They've
original.
got to account for this.
The original PS5 has liquid cooling anyway, so
Does
that
it?
was yeah.
Then
That's
why
why
is it
there's no
locking up when
noisy
they playing a
fan.
game today?
No
knows?
idea. It
It
shouldn't
sort,
be.
of, it sort of like makes me think he's gaming fucked at the moment because
It's badly optimized, is what I would imagine, as far
it
as Star
feels
Wars
like
goes.
video games are fucked at the moment. I started up Mario 3D All Stars on the Switch, and it showed me that from 1997 was Mario 64, 2002 was Sunshine, 2007 was Galaxy, and we didn't get another mainline one until 2017. Then you look at the GTA games, like they all came out in a very quick thing, and then they spread out. Then all of a sudden it's like
Yeah.
10 years for the next one. And then
Yeah.
you look at the Zelda,
Skyrim.
Zelda,
Yeah.
Red, like
Yeah.
they all like they came out 4 years apart. 4 years,
Right.
5 years, and then all of a
Right.
sudden it's like 10 years.
That's
Yeah.
because games.
It's
are
because people keep
complicated.
they are, and people keep expecting more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
You can't just give a little bit more with the same thing. They're expecting worlds that are twice or 3 times as big. It's exponentially harder to do. They want new mechanics. They want, all sorts of new stuff. And I think that's a problem because for me, none of those things are what, I want to be able to build my own house in the next Elder Scrolls, but I just want another big world to explore with cool stuff in it. That shouldn't take 20 years to do, but they have to find ways
You know
to
what you
incorporate
need to
this,
play, dude?
incorporate that.
Ghost of
Cyberpunk?
Tsushima. No,
Ghost of Tsushima. They're having a sale on Steam right now with
Or Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's great too.
PlayStation publisher. Horizon Zero Dawn is like $13, and I'm like, I should
Pretty
play
good.
that.
It's really
Yeah, it's
I've
good.
heard great things.
Yeah.
Too many games.
Too many
Too many
games.
games.
So then I'm like, God, like the consoles. Remember before, Stu, when the new 360 Slim got announced and it was cheaper? Remember that?
Yeah. That's what used to happen.
Right now, it's just like this one's sort of slimmer, still as ugly, but fucking more expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And if
And
you
it's-
want,
Because it'll run more power.
and if you want to put a disc in it, £100 more than
Well,
that.
this is the selling point, dude. This is what they're saying is the reason you're gonna buy one of these.
Okay,
It's
hit me.
Because currently, right, when they announced the Xbox Series X and PS5, they said you'll be able to play games at 60 frames a second, and they're gonna look amazing. Right? That was a
I believe
major
it when I see
selling
it.
point of that. And what actually happened was when they realized that couldn't be achieved and you couldn't have 4K and 60 frames a second, they went, well, you can choose.
you can have 4K or 60 frames.
You can have 4K and 30 frames a
Right.
second, or you can have 60 frames a second and it doesn't look as great,
Right.
right? So
Right.
this supposedly is going to solve that issue. So this is coming out and it's got a better GPU in it, it's got better RAM and all that kind of jive or whatever. And they're going,
Right.
you get the best of both. We are going to give you that now, but they sold the PS5 on that, and that was a lie because it couldn't do that. And now
sounds
they're
I
saying,
gotta be
don't
honest, man.
worry.
I bought this PC in 2019. I'm able to play Starfield, which came out last year. Like it's working well for.
Well, that's
I
the
feel like
problem,
PCs.
isn't it? It's like, that
But
people
you're
don't
not
need
going to get
these things.
4K. You're not going to
People-
get
Right.
4K.
But people don't.
I'm not worried
need
about 4K.
People don't need
Exactly. Thank you.
No, but they're trying to sell you that though. They're trying to
we
go.
don't need it.
You do need
Yeah,
it.
well-
You
We
do need it. That's
don't.
why
No,
this
we don't.
exists.
We don't.
No one cares.
You don't
I
need a TV
never-
the size of your wall either.
I never play any games on my PC other than 1080p, and that's good enough. It looks fine.
Yes.
It's a little
Yes.
screen. It doesn't need 1,000. It's a bit like phone
You
cameras.
play it on your fucking Steam Deck, which is even littler.
Exactly. It's like that's only got an 800p screen, by the way. That's it. It doesn't even play
Which is
1080p.
fine.
And it's fine.
Like
But-
we're either using these tiny little blocks or a screen the size of my wall.
But it's like telephones, isn't it? Oh, telephones. There's an old word.
Telephones.
Telephone. It's like smartphones, right? All the selling points of smartphones for years was this one's got 50 megapixels. This has got 100 megapixels.
Right.
But unless you're
Right.
going to make a picture that's the size of an office block, it doesn't matter. You only need
It
about
doesn't.
whatever small amount.
But it worked because people kept buying new phones.
Yeah, because
That's
they
the
thought it was
thing.
going to be super sharper, but it makes no
It's the
difference.
logic. It's the logic of capitalism. You got to
Bigger.
convince people to buy the thing again somehow.
Yeah.
So
I have no interest in
I just
this.
feel sorry for people who have this need to keep getting new hardware because, like I said, I'm 5 years and counting, and I keep thinking like maybe I should upgrade my PC, and I'm like, why? If it ain't broke, man.
It's like
good.
I'll give you another great
To be
example.
fair, most of what I use it for is Skyrim and Rocket League, but still.
Slightly different context, but similar sort of thing. It's like these Oasis concerts that have been announced in the UK. People are paying thousands of pounds to get tickets to go and see them, right?
That's nostalgia run amok.
It is kind of, but if they'd have gone and watched Liam Gallagher last year when he was doing his tour, that probably cost about 50 quid. He sang
Yeah, but
all
it's
the
just
Oasis
1/5 of the.
songs.
Yeah, but it's just 1/5 of the experience.
Yeah, but he's the main singer and he sang all the
I know.
Oasis songs,
I
so
don't
who
have an
cares?
opinion on Oasis.
And I'll be honest, I'd be quite happy to listen to the first 2 albums because they were great, and the rest of the stuff they did was a bit shit.
Dude,
So
I'm at a
I'm-
point. I went to see Ministry last year. That was the only concert I've been to in like 10 years because at this point, I'm so tired on the weekends. I'm so like over the experience of paying for parking and all that shit. I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, is there a YouTube video where I can watch their show, or like, a DJ, like I see Chemical
Exactly.
Brothers. If the Chemical Brothers came to, the town near me, Madison, Wisconsin, or even Chicago, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, I can watch them at Tomorrowland or whatever it is, the fucking.
And you know what though?
Festivals.
We sat and watched loads of Glastonbury live on the TV, on the big screen with the sound system banging it out. And I could go and shit in my own toilet. And I could go and have
That's the
some
key element. Where am I going to shit?
Have some decent food.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. You don't have to deal with smelly hippies near you.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. And get sunburnt and sleep
standing in a field. Looking
now,
at
some
a
people,
dot
that's
on
the
a
experience.
stage.
That's what they like. It's part of the whole process. Chinny used to go to a lot of music festivals.
Don't get me wrong, right? I go to loads of concerts over the years. I've been to loads.
Yeah, you
of
do.
concerts.
You go. You
and
love
I love
Depeche
them.
Mode and stuff.
But I'm not paying fucking 350
Right,
quid
right,
or 150
right.
or
I hear
even
you, I
£3
hear you.
to see Oasis. They can go.
We've gotten quite far from the video game discussion.
So
that we
that's
started.
why what we think of the PS4 Pro, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Great
It's
stuff.
worse. It's worse than Oasis. There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. So now it's emails. Is that?
Yeah, let's do some emails. Holy crap.
Whoa, that ruled.
So the first email this evening is from Tainted Brain.
Tainted Brain.
And I'm going to be honest, I think I was reading a poem when I looked at the way it is.
Japan.
It isn't, but it's
Japanese
like
culture is.
it's like 4 paragraphs of 3 lines. It looks like it's a poem, but it isn't.
It's like a haiku, but in prose. It's a prose haiku, a pro.
I don't know. Let's see. I'll read it and see if it sounds like
All
a
right.
poem. Here we
Go ahead.
He says, "Hey there."
Hey.
He says, "So I tried sending another audio file, but the damn insects were huge and too loud. I didn't
What?
want to be that person shouting at their phone while sat in the park, so I've resorted to email." It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of. I've continued with Alien Isolation. It's pants-stainingly scary. That's what he says. Ooh.
Oh, shit in his pants.
Yeah, shit in his pants. So it's pants-stainingly scary. My heart is racing. My palms are sweaty, and I've been screaming. The soundscape is so well done in this game, I reckon it makes up for most of the scares.
Mm.
You all have played horror games before. I used to too. But in recent years, I've stopped playing. Not sure if my taste changed, or I don't like being scared anymore, or it's just a side effect of age.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
Turn the damn thing off.
Question time, motherfucking question time.
All right.
So do you still enjoy horror games as much as you did when you were younger? And also, is there any horror franchise you'd like to see in a game? So like that's a movie franchise, I'm guessing.
Okay.
The answer is no, because I'm a huge pussy now.
Yeah, you are.
I think when you're in your 20s, you sort of like, I can play anything. I'm not scared.
What was the first horror video game?
What ever made?
Alone in the Dark.
I'm trying to
isn't
think
it?
about like
it's
because
probably
I think of
Alone in the Dark,
Amnesia as the
wasn't it?
first one that really Alone in the Dark.
Yeah, Alone in the Dark. I would have said.
Well, I think
Was
it
it-
really came to height with Resident Evil. And
Yeah,
Silent
Resident Evil
Hill.
Resident
came out
Evil, yeah,
after.
sure.
It came out after though, didn't
So,
it?
yeah, it
Yeah.
came out well after. But
And then there was
But they
obviously
Alone in the
Silent
Dark, I
Hill.
think wasn't that Alone in the Dark kind of a mystery game? Like I feel like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, they were like, okay, now you're gonna like
I'll
be
tell you-
scared for your
I'll
life.
tell you the first moment people got scared while playing a video game.
Yeah.
It was when the dogs jumped through the window on
Yeah,
Resident
they
Evil
did.
1.
It is.
Everybody shat themselves at that. Everyone.
Yeah, everyone did.
So yeah, I'm not as attracted to horror games as I used to be. Resident Evil 3 was a tough. It was tough. It was tough for me to play, man. I'm all over the place.
You haven't even played Village yet, have you?
I haven't played Village. Alan Wake is just tough. Like to
Alan
me.
Wake 2 is pretty scary.
It just makes me feel so uneasy, and I'm not massively comfortable with it. But whereas I wasn't always like that, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I wasn't too bothered. But it's just I don't know. I think age does have an effect on these things. You do become, and also because we've played games for a long time, so there is certain language in video games where you know the beat of like, okay, something should jump at me here, or
Yeah.
you know something scary is going to happen here, so you sort of waiting for it. And then some games, And movies do this as well, where they pull the wool over your eyes and don't do it. And
Right.
you know, I remember.
Well,
Dead
and,
Space
and
2.
they're always trying to deal with the expectations that
Yeah.
audiences have, and they get more sophisticated, and you have to deal with that.
Dead Space 2, one of the scariest moments in Dead Space 2 was like you always felt safe in a lift, and then you get in one lift and they just drop a monster in there, and you don't know what to do. Like you just,
Right. It's like if in Left 4 Dead you get to a safe house and there were more monsters.
yeah, there
inside.
were zombies in there. Whereas I suppose Left 4 Dead isn't so as scary as it's more.
No, but it's that same idea of you
It's
get
like
used to just you see
know
that
the
safe house. You're
formula,
okay.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you know
Right,
the
exactly.
formula. Whereas like Dead Space was like, you think you're safe in the lift, pow, you know, and it was scary. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
not as into them. Definitely not as into them as I used to be. I wasn't a massive horror fan across movies and games anyway, but I used to play a lot more, but not as much.
Well, I'm
never-
as you know. Sorry, I was going to
Go
say
ahead,
as
Stu.
you
No,
know.
go ahead, Stu.
I'm the exact opposite.
You love horror stuff.
I love horror games. I love horror films. I love horror TV shows. Whatever it is, I'm properly into horror. I mean, I've played. Still Wakes to Deep is probably one of my favorite games this year so far, which is obviously a horror game. Yeah, I've played Resident Evil Village 7. I played all of them. I played all those games, man. I played all of them.
Yeah.
Evil Within, and what's the one in the psychiatric hospital? That's a pretty good game. And Paranormal Activity or whatever it was called, the ghost hunting game. We played loads of that at one point, and that was fun.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Phantasmophobia. Yeah.
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
and
that
I didn't
was
like.
fun.
I'm not into horror games, but I recognize that was well done.
That
So,
was
yeah,
well done
sure.
because that was that.
Yeah.
That felt
It
like
was a little something different.
that we have never done before. Whereas the
Yeah.
ghost hunting co-op game, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it fucking made you shit your
Oh,
pants.
horrible! When I was in the basement and I just heard a ghost go like
Yeah,
that, I'm
it's
fucked.
awful.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like, truly effective horror is like truly effective media of any kind. Less is more, and I think Phasmophobia, as well as probably Resident Evil. I never really played any Resident Evil, but you know, I think the games that go way overboard with the blood and the gore, like that's not horror for me. I'm not into that kind of horror. I've never been in any kind of horror really, but I think that I have a lot of respect for the stories that do it with a little bit, you know, as much as I was frustrated by Blair Witch, I think they did a great job of letting your imagination fill in the blanks. Same with Cloverfield. I think Cloverfield's a great film because it works with glimpses. And same with Psycho, you know.
Shaky cam found footage stuff works pretty well.
It can.
But you're right,
And
it's
so-
definitely less is more because Phasmophobia did such a great job. And it wasn't the big scares that scared you, it's the build up and the tension and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And as for me, like horror stories have never interested me in and of themselves. I want them to do something different. So Cabin in the Woods is amazing. I love Cabin in the Woods.
I love Cabin in the Woods, yeah.
I respect Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I told you all that when I was dating the Duchess, I asked her to show me a movie that meant something to her, and she showed me Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah, what a
radical
film.
feminist vegan, like I did not see that coming. But anyway, you know, I respect that what it achieved at the time for the genre. But most horror movies I've seen,
very, very low budget as well. It was such
yeah, oh, absolutely. Like, you know, I saw Saw and I was not impressed. I've seen, you know, I think Silence of the Lambs is a great movie because it's about more than just killing and slaughtering. You know what I mean? Like, so many horror movies are just about body count and blood, and Scream didn't impress me. And, you know, I just feel like most of them, and look, if you like being scared, like, cool, that's more power to you. Like, I'm not trying to, you know, ick somebody's yum. But I, personally speaking, I like the horror movies that go beyond just the, you know, Clive Barker's made some very interesting horror movies. Alien is about, it's not really about the alien. It's about like what the company's doing and the people and Ridley finding a way to survive. Like, I think it's interesting for other reasons besides just, I'm scared of this monster.
Yeah, Hellraisers is a great movie.
Yeah, I need maybe I should see it again. I do remember liking it, but I also remember being so freaked out by it that I was like, I can't process this.
Such a great movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's our answer, Tainted Brain. Thank you.
There you go. He does have some at the end. He said, I won't ask questions about Astrobot, supposed to be an awesome platformer, or the PS5 Pro, not really needed and too expensive. As I reckon you'll cover them in the news section, which we did.
We just did.
We
yeah.
just did.
We're like this, eye to eye. Thank you, Tainted.
now I'd better get back to the game. I've only 2 days left to play before it leaves PS Plus. And
Oh,
this
no.
email wasn't just to give me a break as I explored a nest, sigh.
Okay.
Thanks all, Brian. So there you go. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Brian.
Brian.
I always call him Tainted Brain. Like, it's such a long name. And even Tainted is too long. I'm just calling you Taint from now on.
Yeah, it's called Taint.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Taint.
Okay, the only other email we have this evening is from Jason.
Who said in the chat, by the way, that he and his brother used to play Akari Warriors. So high five, Jason Gallagher.
There you go. He says, Mario can suck old Bob, Sony too.
Okay.
He said, Chinny and the new home buyers, this message is for you.
Oh.
Go
I was
on.
hoping to be ready for the PS5 Pro because all these years I have not seen a good reason to update to the current gen and was hoping more games would be here by now. This console generation is nearing its end, and so unless they release Baby Jesus on the PS5 Pro, it's not happening for me. I agree. I don't think there's been any massive games come out for the current generation at all. I said Baby Jesus. I know you're all excited about the Jesus game coming soon, but I don't think you get to play as Baby Jesus.
Is that a real thing?
$700 freaking dollars and no Baby Jesus. Definitely not worth it. So, no, I don't think there is a Baby Jesus game, just saying. As far as Mario goes, him and Luigi can duck right off. I purchased a home last year. The foundation repair company had to come out. They broke my pipes and now refuse to repair them. Then I find out that they worked with the seller on a major plumbing issue before I bought the house. The seller only paid for half the work. He then sells me the house, not disclosing any of this. Yet the plumbing company, same as the foundation company, passed the plumbing test and the engineer passed the foundation test. These tests are required before real estate transactions, kind of important. I've handed over so much cash to this plumber, I could have bought a brand new car, which I had planned to do. Now I have to figure out my kitchen, 20 grand damage sitting there 2 months now because insurance are just as fraudulent. I'm hiring an attorney tomorrow. Fuck knows how much that'll cost, by the way. All this shit's expensive. This is my 4th house. I suggest that any whining kids that can't afford a house these days is that they are absolutely right. The only way to go is to build a new one or just play Sims under a bridge somewhere. By the way, I've not only seen Luigi's Mansion, I've paid for half of it. That dipshit is living like a king. And
Damn,
Dig Dug,
Jason's got problems with Luigi.
and Dig Dug, that dipshit digging tunnels under my house has cost me a fortune. So suck old Bob, Sony. Your PS5 Pro can get fucked. I know you're busy in your mansions while the gamers that just want to play some games aren't only getting fucked by you. And you've now got Super Mario Brothers and Dig Dug on the train. Eat shit, motherfuckers, chicken chasers.
Yeah.
Tell us what you really think.
Wow. I don't think he's happy.
Yeah.
I don't know what gave me that impression. But I don't know. I just feel like there's something going on here. I feel like there's some subtext.
I always feel like that with Jason's emails. Like, okay, there's an experience that I'm not privy to. I can't follow. It's very stream of consciousness, which I appreciate, but it also makes me feel left out in some ways. However, here's what I will say. I did a search for Jesus video game. There's a game that came out in 2023 called I Am Jesus Christ, and you get to play as Jesus. And there's a free prologue on Steam. I'm playing this for next week, people. I don't think Jason expected me to do this, but I don't think he was referring to this
to play my
necessarily.
game, bitch, for next week?
Why not? Let's do it, because we need to play my game. This is free on Steam.
We do.
Let's do it. I Am Jesus Christ
that.
prologue. This is our play my game, people.
There you go.
Putting it
So
in the
it's called
show notes.
Jesus Christ prologue. That's actually what
I
it's
am Jesus Christ.
called. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. Right. Okie dokie. So we have got a speak pipe. So let's give that a listen.
That we do. We're gonna have a spick a pipe.
Speak pipe. It's the way to leave a message for us.
And I gotta say, when Derek Sains left a few years back, or last year, whenever he left, I was worried that we would have speak pipes dry up. But then the Saint Diesel person showed up, and it's just so nice to have a regular speak piper pick up where Derek left off. So thank you, St. Diesel. All right, here comes this week's speak pipe. It's called Better Together, question mark.
Hey, Veteran Gamers, it's St. Diesel back again. I've never played an online multiplayer game before, not for any special reason, but in the past at least, I've always associated online multiplayer games with the PC, which wasn't the place I played most of my games. And it's just something I've never really gotten into, but my interest has been piqued a bit over the last year or so with games like Helldivers 2, which seem to be a big online multiplayer hit. And of course, there's online multiplayer shooters and online multiplayer role-playing games. And of course, there's the upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which I think is out in October. So I thought, should I get into online multiplayer games in some form? But I've got a few questions for you, and the answer to all of them could apply to the same game. So first question, what is or has been your best online multiplayer game experience? What has been your worst online multiplayer game experience?
Rocket League and Rocket League.
And if I was to get into online multiplayer games, is there a one you suggest for someone who's never played one before? And last question, a bit more contentious, I guess, is what are some of the do's and don'ts of online multiplayer games, in your experience at least? So I'd be interested to hear what you say, but as I said, maybe not get into them in the future, but maybe will.
Okay. Well, so the joke answer is Rocket League is the best experience and Rocket League is the worst experience. I talk about Rocket League a lot.
Can I ask a question though? Because you played a fucking shit ton of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare back in the day.
Yeah,
would that not be on a par with Rocket League?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is that like experiences come in all shapes and sizes. So actually, when I think about my best experiences playing multiplayer, it actually goes back to the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, because that was the first game I ever really played a lot of in online multiplayer. And the thing I loved about it was people could make their own little rooms. So when I went to start up the game, I didn't just join a random lobby and play with random idiots the way you do today. Instead, I went looking for a room, and there was this one room that it was very original. They called themselves the 420 Clan. And I just went in there, and they were so friendly, and they were just goofy, and they made silly jokes. And there was this one guy who loved hip hop, so he and I geeked out about hip hop. And at one point, I was talking to them, and this guy was like, "Yeah, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And we met up, and I met another dude who lived in Florida when I went to see friends in Florida. And like, it was just so cool to actually get to know some strangers, because you run into them again and again. And so I miss that. That's, I think, something that's really missing. And you can join Discords and there's clans and stuff, but I think there's a certain kind of magic that happened early in the day, back in the day, before everybody had their own private rooms.
Yeah, and Rocket League's your worst, I'm guessing.
Rocket League is the community that has the most toxic children in it. Now, the flip side of that is, I actually have one today. I had this guy, and when I play Rocket League, the reason I play, a big part of the reason why I play so much Rocket League is because the chat is actually active. Nobody uses the chat in Call of Duty. Nobody uses the chat I doubt they use it much in Valorant. Like, people are too busy playing the game. But in Rocket League, like, the chat happens. So I had someone today, and I'm celebrating when I score. I'm like, yeah, I got royalty, got loyalty. I'm spouting Kendrick lyrics. And this one guy goes, "Would you please shut the fuck up?" In the chat, typed it. And I was like, "Can you please make me?" Like, that's my response. Like, I'm having fun. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, whatever. So at the end of the game, I was like, don't tell people to shut up if they're having fun. Join in or mute them. Like, there's a mute button. You don't have to listen to me typing, or not listen, but you have to read my typing. But he was like, "Yeah, my bad. I was just mad because we were losing." And I'm like, I get that. It's cool. So you can have those experiences where you actually find a connection with people. And that's the best part of any of it, when you actually connect with people online. So,
fair enough. My best experience in multiplayer, and as you know, I'm not a big multiplayer gamer. Have I gone off again?
No, we hear you.
Oh no, I've probably gone really quiet then.
We just don't have anything to say. We know you're not a multiplayer game, but you have done
I'm not
some.
multiplayer, but it's definitely got to be Left 4 Dead Versus.
Yeah,
We
I
had
agree.
so many fun nights playing that
Right.
game.
Right.
So
And-
much
and-
fun.
And you can have that with a lot of different games. If you have a full group, 4v4 or whatever, you know, like you could if you could pack a Call of Duty lobby or whatever, you know, like you can.
And it was
do that.
all
You can
friends.
have a lot of fun.
It was
with
all friends.
It's
So
all
it was
friends,
everyone
exactly.
you knew, and we just had
Right.
crazy times playing that game.
But even if you don't have a full group of people, Left 4 Dead did that magical thing of requiring you to work together. And I'm amazed that so few games have found that same formula. Because you wouldn't think it would be that hard.
There's barely any. I mean, since that game, I don't think I've played a few of these games.
He mentioned Helldivers 2, and I think Helldivers 2 does this. I think Helldivers 2, if you don't know what you're doing, it's okay. There's probably someone on your squad who can kind of take the lead, and you can just run around and shoot a bunch of things, and maybe you'll kill your own teammate once in a while, but it happens. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I love.
So I think Helldivers 2 is one of the best multiplayer games out recently.
Team Fortress 2 obviously was great fun as well. We had loads of fun playing that at one point. That's probably where it stops. And probably worst experience, I just hate. I mean, I played it because I kind of felt like I had to because everyone else was playing it at the time. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, I just fucking hated it. I just died all the time. I never got kill streaks. I used to be at the bottom of the rankings. And I used to play it. But it was almost like, not peer pressure, but you almost felt like you had to because everybody you knew was playing it. And
back then, there weren't nearly as many games. And
and I just used to sit there and play it, even though I kind of probably wasn't having that much fun, but felt like I had to because everyone else was playing it. So
See, I'll have that. I'm going to shut up in a second, let Chinny talk, but I'll have that experience. There's this old farts Discord that I'm on where people play Rocket League, and you know, I've met some cool people on there. We had some good times, but when the room gets full and there's like 6 people in that room, it's 3v3. At least 3 of them are like grand champs. They can just do whatever they want, just make the ball go in the goal. And I'm powerless against them. I'm just going to lose and I'm going to make stupid mistakes. And I'm in that same zone you're talking about, Stu, of like, I'm playing it because there's other people playing it, but I'm not having fun. And, you know, sometimes I'll apologize and then they'll make jokes. And I'm like, you're punching down, dude. Like, I'm trying my best and I still
You're an easy target, and I hate that.
I'm such an easy target. So, like, whatever. Chinny, best multiplayer online experience?
Halo 2 Rocket Races. No, Halo 3 Rocket Races.
I do remember some of those.
That's how I met Damo, and the worst one was GTA 5 online. That's how you answer the question. Thank you.
Which is a shame because it had a lot of possibility.
All these games do until you get dicks.
Yeah.
Do you
But
know what I
again,
mean?
like, even though Rocket League is filled with dicks, and it so is, and I have thought about uninstalling it because of how toxic the children are in that game. Like, the gameplay is so much fun, and the joy of finding some decent people once in a while. That's the thing. Rocket League or GTA 5, you're not really communicating with anybody. They're being dicks by like blowing you up over and over again, or like, you know, trying to make you mad, and that's not really a thing in Rocket League. For the most part.
I mean, it's like I remember another bad experience in multiplayer, but I kind of enjoyed the game, which was Unreal Tournament 4, I think it was. But when it came out, and it's super, super fast, it's old school. And one day I was playing that game, and there was this Scouser in, right? I'm not having a go at Scousers here, but he was an absolute cock.
Yeah.
And he was good at the game, and it was fucking annoying as hell because he was really good at it. And he just literally was killing you and just fucking trolling you constantly. Do you know what I mean? And like every other thing that came out of his mouth was like just really offensive.
Yeah.
And I just remember playing it. And it's just like, oh my God, this is fucking horrendous.
It's just people, some people are just so sad and angry and empty that they just have to go online and spread more of it and try to get other people angry so they can laugh at them. And it's like, ugh. Blah.
So it's pretty bad.
So anyway,
Right.
watch yourself, but yeah, try Helldivers 2. I do think that's probably the best option for finding a fun multiplayer experience in 2024. That or maybe, well,
But
Warframe.
it's not got a cheap price of entry, has it? Though that's the
It
problem.
doesn't. That's true.
You've
That's
got to
the
pay for
downside
it.
of
It's
it.
a lot of money. And if you
Guild
don't
Wars
like
2 is Guild Wars 2 free to play these days? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't know whether Derek has a gaming PC or not. Derek, should I say?
Well, you know, I mean, it's an old game, so you don't. No, Guild Wars 2 is play for free, and Guild Wars 2 has some mechanics that build community as you go. So you'll interact with some other players sometimes. and it's free, and it doesn't need a new PC. So you might wanna try
Sadly, there aren't many friendly multiplayer play spaces, are there? There's not
There
many
aren't.
games.
I mean, you could find there are people who find guilds and stuff, and that might be a way to go. But
yeah,
I haven't
It's
had a lot of
difficult.
success with
It's
those.
very difficult in
can be
this day and age.
Yeah, which is a
Good
shame
luck.
because we have technology to bring people together, but we don't really use it for that. So
Yeah. So good luck with that, Derek. I hope you find what you're looking for. I
yeah,
hope you do. Okay, I think that's about it, is it? I think we need to do some shout outs and get the hell out of here.
I think it's time.
It's time for a shout out. Hey!
Shout out. Yeah, I'm gonna shout out. What shall I shout out this week? Yeah, I'll tell you what, I managed to listen to something weird on the radio at work this week by mistake because I didn't know what it was.
Go on.
So that's a weird shout out. So I was scrolling, like on a thingy, like a digital radio, whatever it is,
Yeah.
digital audio broadcasting, DAB radio. I was sort of scrolling. I was like trying to find something, and then what came up was UCB radio. I'm like, I wonder what the fuck what's UCB radio?
Upright
So-
Citizens Brigade.
No, so I turned it on, and it was kind of this soul-y song, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good. And I listened to it a bit more, and I'm like, these songs all sound a bit gospel-y, you know what I mean? Like gospel-y kind of sound to them. So I looked it up, and like, what is this UCB? It's apparently United Christian Broadcasters.
Oh boy, here we go.
And then the next thing, the praying on there and stuff.
Hallelujah.
And I was like, ooh, the music. But do you know what? I did listen to it for about a good half an hour, 40 minutes before I realized. And I was like, it was pretty good music. Some of that music was pretty, there was rapping on it. There was like Christian raps. These guys, it was
Baby got
versatile.
book.
I have no idea. No,
That is a real
swearing.
thing, by the way.
I
Have you seen
knew
that,
it-
Jenny?
No.
I knew it wasn't real rap because or hip hop.
I can play the audio right now.
There was no swearing. There was no swearing in the
Of
lyrics.
course not.
So, but there you
I'm
go.
waiting for someone to be like, "Fuck the devil, man! Fuck you." devil." How about the Jesus Lean? Are you familiar with the Jesus Lean? show?
Can't say as I am.
I'm not. No.
There's some interesting Christian rap out there. I'll tell you what.
So there you go. So yeah, that was that was a bit of a mistake, which was kind of all right for a little bit. All right
Yeah.
for a little bit. So there's my shout
Okay.
out. UCB Radio.
Yeah.
Give it a listen.
Sure. Chinny, shout outs.
Shout out
Oh,
to
and Armar, by the way, shout out to Armar for providing the game for this week's Play My Game Is. I was meant to do that. Sorry, I didn't
Should
do
see
it.
Chinny's face.
And shout out to Armar because he's poorly. I hope you're feeling better soon. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what we're going to do it, didn't you? I was going to literally, as soon as you started talking, I was going, oh, but I wasn't really going to say anything. Go on, I'll let you go. Go on. Go on.
Shout out to Baron Van Glower for showing me that YouTube video with my face.
That's just brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to show Kate the instant this show finishes. I'm up there going,
Yeah, I showed Tara and she's like, oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, so
Yeah.
shout out to him. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I will shout out Amar as well. Thank you for send. He'll just send me like, I want a sandwich, and I'm like, hey, it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's all we do is just trade these Brooklyn Nine-Nine lines. Shout out Tana Brain for the email. Shout out Jason for the email. Shout out Saint Diesel for the speak pipe, and everybody listening, participating in the chats, whether it's YouTube or Twitch. We love y'all. This community rocks, and yeah, I love doing the show every week, and we love hearing from y'all. So thank you, and shout out to B Shock for doing the Jesus lean.
I
Yeah.
think we're done.
Did you mute? Did you manage to mute that Chinny? in
Yes.
time? Oh, brilliant.
Oh no, we got another copyright strike.
He's not going to give us a copyright
He's on
strike
the
because he's a
video.
Christian. He's going to forgive us.
No, he's not. He's going to demand money like all Christians do.
Yeah, he is. He's
All
going to
right,
stick it in
show's
the
over. No
Christian
refunds.
coffers.
You heard the robot. Get out.
Won't you? Won't you? Won't you? Won't you?
bam, B-Shock got the merch ready to go. On the YouTube thing, you scroll down, it's like, shop the B-Shock store. Orange t-shirt, blue t-shirt, some camo thing, white hat, black hat.
Yeah, merch, man. Got to get the merch.
I guess. Jesus, what would Jesus sell?
What would Jesus sell? He'd sell the merch.
So you don't want me to play Christian Side Hug then? Is that, you don't want me to play that song?
No.
I'm good.
So
but it's very
stupid.
kind of you to offer, though.
Yeah,
Very
you're
kind.
welcome. I
Very
want to
kind.
spread culture. I guess it's technically culture. I don't know.
Very kind.
Yeah.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, it is. I'm very proud of you.
Very kind of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you
Very
go.
proud of you. That's
Very
very
kind.
nice.
Very kind
Yeah.
of you.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Grand.
And it stopped.
Sorry, I'm becoming increasingly ill as this.
You actually not feeling well? Or are
I'm
you
not
just
feeling well.
goofy?
Recording
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
stopped.
No, so that's why I went very quiet.
Sleep deprivation?
No, I feel a bit like I'm gonna have
Baby germs?
a flu or something like just
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
COVID. It might be COVID. You've been to
Ah.
London. It'll be COVID.
They'll get
going
your latest
round, man.
boosters? I actually got booster
Oh, we don't
before
get.
the Duchess
we don't
this
get.
time.
We don't get any anymore.
Nope.
Why not?
No, they stopped them after unless you were over 75.
Really?
Yeah. They don't give a
Weird.
shit. That's why it's spreading like wildfire because no one gives a shit.
Well,
anymore.
yeah, I mean, you'd think you'd want to demand it. Like,
Yeah.
you think that public health would want to limit the spread of it.
Nope, they don't give a shit in the UK. It doesn't exist in the UK anymore. It's not a thing.
Ugh, that
I
sucks.
don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, it's not even here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's spreading like wildfire at the moment. Millie had it about 4
Yeah.
weeks ago, and
Well, right.
like I say,
Keep
all
hearing
of
about
Adam's
people
family,
getting it.
Loads of people in the UK have it now.
I'm sorry.
Because they're a bunch of tossers.
Apparently.
So there you go.
Yep. So
There you
maybe
go.
I'll do.
All right. Well, I hope you feel better, Chinny.
Do a
Yes.
COVID test then. I suppose.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I'd wait a bit, see what happens. But
Well,
yeah,
but he's
you
got
might
a
be fine.
baby.
Yeah,
last
You just want to
babies.
give it to the baby?
The last
Babies are
time
fine.
You said that I might have COVID. You were
I
correct.
know. Have you had a sore throat? Have you got a headache,
I've
backache?
got a sore throat. Yeah.
You have got a
jeez.
sore throat.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm getting a bit like hot.
Oh
I'm getting a
Jesus!
bit hot.
It does
sorry.
sound. It sounds possible. Just saying.
You say that with such glee, like you're
Yeah. You had
Well, I thought I had
diseased.
it this week, but I didn't, so that was good.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Chitty, I've paid for Podbean again, so it's that time of year, believe it or not.
So
Shut up! Why do you have to be so awkward every time?
I like it.
Stop being so fucking awkward.
No, I like it because now Stu's waiting for money. Stu does not like being owed money.
It's not about owed money, but I've paid the money.
Yeah, well, you know. I'm paying-
yeah, but
well,
if you don't mind being owed,
a-
then why does it matter?
Stu,
Yeah,
there's,
but
a, there's a
I've
lot.
paid the money.
There's a lot of paperwork you don't see.
Just acres of pages.
Do you know?
Mhm.
Do you know? Paid the bloody
All right.
money.
Let me
Have
know
a
how
good
much
week,
it is
y'all.
and I'll sort it out.
Yeah,
Try
well,
to get some of these
I'll
papers
I'll
graded.
text it to you.
I bet you will. I bet you do it now.
Of course, I'm going to do it now.
You little keen Gene. All right. Well,
Yeah. Peace out, fam.
great show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
it was. It was good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.